I'm gonna come.
Somebody, yeah, putting those numbers down.
Was there a dyno on it?
Yeah.
right next door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very, very high-end race shop.
Yeah.
It's a drag shop is right next door.
Like if something doesn't pull a wheelie,
They ain't touching
there's
it.
a problem that day. Yeah. Yeah. I went to their website a couple times and I'm just like, holy shit. And it just, at times there's stuff that there's part of the project, like they're not going to do radio stuff, right? So they'll send that over to KD and vice versa. So it was just like there's, sticky Mickey lightning out front one day and I'm like, what the hell? And then sure enough, I look on the website and it's 3 feet in the air. The front end's 3 feet in the air. I'm like, oh, that's the one. Yeah. Wild. What up, Kinda?
I think his personal. It's not a Charger. Is it Charger Challenger?
The orange thing?
Orange thing. What the hell is that?
I don't even. Maybe it's a Charger or a Challenger. I don't know. Yeah, it's not a Daytona. Let's put it that way.
His personal 1,400 horsepower.
No, that's light. Something light.
Well,
Yeah.
were. He came over when
Daily.
when the Polo broke. Yeah. When the Polo broke, he came over and he's looking at the arms, and he's like, on my car, the class I race in requires me to have stock control arms, but you can modify around that. He's like, so when I come off the line, my front wheels leave probably about an 1/8 mile. And he's like, I got to make sure my wheels stay dead straight. I'm like, which is not the same thing. I understand we both have control arms, but all cars do. We're just
I
not.
understand you're doing a wheelie and my front tires power my car.
Yeah, one of my front tires turns my car forward. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, so when you 1,400 horsepower, you got to make sure those wheels stay straight. Because when I come down, I'm moving. I'm like, I bet you
The
are.
wheels are up at the 660. When I ease it down,
Yeah.
you gotta be straight.
And I bring her back down. Oh, man. Yeah, actually, he's always loaded up, ready to go somewhere drag racing. Sometimes I come around the corner, he's just in the street doing burnouts. Yeah, it's what if I can find SD Concepts? Yeah, here we go. SD Concepts. But I mean, there's always you get trailers from all over that get cars trailered here for him to work on them. Very impressive shop. But was it? No, you know what? That's not blasphemy that I thought it was a Dodge. It's not a Dodge at all. It's like a Nova.
It's slightly different.
Yeah. That's real big shame on me. You know what? I don't know. There's a lot of, you know what? Orange, common color.
It's close, yeah.
Common color car on this website. But yeah, nice guy. Nice guy, very helpful. It's cool to see. I've gone over there a few times. I asked Kyle for a fitting of something. Yeah. I don't have it, but I know who does. We mosey on over there. You're just working on a engine that's half the size of a blower going on one of these cars.
Yeah. Did you? I sent you that thing of that dude with the 3,000 horsepower, the underground racing.
Yeah, R8.
Whatever. Yeah. It was the R8. And dude's like, yeah, so 250. I'm thinking, give it a little squirt, give it a little juice. I'm like, 3,000 horsepower. We're talking about putting nitrous on this thing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Light. Let's hit it with the squeeze.
Feels like it's losing a little at the top.
Yeah.
I need to fucking
I
pump
guess
that
they
up.
tried it, and it legit blew the bolt. It shattered the bolts on the intake manifold.
Oh my god.
I don't even know how you calculate how much.
Right, the size of
throttle with 32 fuel injectors going probably.
yeah. What's the biggest jets I can get? These mics are super sensitive, hence the the wear and tear on the edge of that thing. So when you just talk, just keep it right,
Right
2 inches in front of you. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's enter that. Grab those numbers for me, Josh. We should
Yeah.
be good. Switch to existing profile. Sweet. Everyone should be happy now.
The amount of anonymous tips we've received.
Anonymous tips?
Yeah. I'm here for it.
From the breakout thing.
From CDK, from internal RMV documents.
There's a mole.
we got
a mole.
we got the people everywhere. Let's see. I gotta try to pull.
Everyone's
my
trying
notes
to drop a
together.
line.
Yep. We got eyes. We got eyes.
We got eyes. Nobody likes the RMV, so everyone's waiting to drop that time.
That's it.
Yeah. Trying to throw someone under the bus somewhere.
Yeah, I got hands for everybody.
Nondescript, just everybody can
Across the board. Yeah. I'm throwing. Who's getting in the way?
Pop this out.
All right. There's that number.
Pop that out.
There's that one. First one.
Yep.
And then, oops. Second one.
All right.
Scott Norton, what up?
Scott reached out today, and he said that the Chinese company I got that made the floor mats for the Tesla. Apparently, they make like step side, like bed, like pickup truck step side, like
So, like steps?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
actual
yeah.
side
What is-
steps?
yeah, like a side step.
Yep.
Step side. I'm just moving words around. Just move 'em around until
They make sense.
they come together.
Some days, some days it's just not there. I don't got it. I can't make the words work.
Sometimes it just disappears.
Yesterday I think I was saying something to my daughter that should be relatively simple. It's like a sentence with, 10 words in it.
Yeah.
Took me way too long.
Just not coming out.
Added words in places they don't belong. I'm just like, what am I trying to say? No wonder why you're not listening to me.
Right? She said, just tell me what you need. Like, spit
That's
it out.
exactly.
Honestly, at this point, you're right. You deserve not to listen to what I have to say to you right now.
Yeah. You know what? You win this battle.
Yeah, like I don't know if it was last night or 2 nights ago. It was like 9. And my kid comes downstairs, and I forget what he asked me what we were doing, and I started to explain why I could be downstairs and he couldn't, and maybe 20 seconds into that, my wife's like, "What do you do? You don't need to explain anything."
Right.
To
He
him.
put you on the hot
Or
seat.
just get him and bring him back upstairs. You don't need to explain yourself to this child.
See, it all started,
Yeah. Because he's like, how come you can be up? I was like, well, buddy, I got stuff to do. I still got to do the and I was like, well, you don't need to know my life. Go to bed.
Doesn't matter.
Just know that it all gets done when
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, you start paying bills around here.
Honestly, the reason you're going to have lunch when you wake up is because I'm going to do that when you finally fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your day is going to be prepped and planned out for you. That's too funny. Sometimes they get you though. They rope you into a conversation that you're like,
Oh, he's bad.
Right.
He'll come down with something slick, and I'll be like, all right, yeah, what's good? And then, I'll be legit 5 minutes in. I'm like, what am I doing? It's 9:30. Let's go to bed.
Some crazy philosophical question out of nowhere. And then, and then
Well,
you just start to answer well, I can't leave this one hanging.
Yeah, stuff. His big thing is he's been big on animals lately. So he'll come down and be like, Dad, so foxes are nocturnal, but they can also be diurnal. And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's 4, and I'm like, all right, let's talk about this because I'm also interested now.
You know what? This is something we really need to get down to the bottom of right now.
it's going to be a learning moment for the both of us. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a documentary we can watch.
Yeah, let's fire it up right now.
Yeah, it's let's dive into this right now. Let's break out the encyclopedias. We'll get into it.
Oh, we're big on that. We got the books before bed talking about reptiles. Yeah. He's telling me about cobras, and I'm like, all right, this is getting too much.
He knows to
He knows
what kind of
gets
strings
me.
to pull. Yeah. Hey, I don't play any games with those snakes.
Yeah.
There's no snakes for me.
Oh, I'm with that.
I'll watch from afar.
Oh no, I'm good with all that.
Some of the YouTubes I get, paths you go down every now and again. You know what? I enjoyed that, but that was about it. I don't want to own a snake, touch a snake.
Yeah, that was. I got off cars and like into exotic animals for a while.
Yep.
Strictly reptile. It was that was
Seriously.
Yeah.
yeah, like monitor lizards specifically.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was rough.
When I was like 16, 17, I owned a blue-tongued skink.
Yeah.
Had one of those. That was as far as I ever
Those are
went.
tight.
Yeah,
It's like
that
a
was-
wiener dog, but a lizard.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you feed it mice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does have
Yeah.
a blue tongue.
It does, yeah. I like came home with like this like 4-inch lizard one day, and my dad was like, my mom was not at all cool about it, but my dad was like very into it,
Yeah.
like with me. And he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a monitor lizard." And like the snake-like tongue and the whole nine. He's like, "How big's it gonna get?" And I was like, "I don't know, like couple feet." We ended up getting like 4 feet. He was
Oh
enormous.
my god,
Yeah.
dude.
Like I built him like this cage was like 8 by 6 by 4. Like, it was like half my room.
Holy
I
shit.
started dating my wife. She'd like be at my house and like he'd break out of his cage and she'd be like, "What are you gonna do about that?" And I'd be like, "Nah, he's straight. Don't worry about him."
What are you gonna do on this fucking horse lizard in your
Yeah.
room right now?
Like I'll show you later. Like I had a picture of him on a leash. Like I
Oh
have a
my
picture of me like
God.
holding him like a baby. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
He was super cool, but like you could just feel like there's power behind that. If he
Yeah.
wanted to, like
There's a
he'd
yeah.
give me the smoke back.
He could present a
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah. My man Lou.
It's like house cats. Once they start swinging it, you're like, oh, you're stronger than I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Like my cat. Like my cat is brutal.
Yeah, they start swatting at you. You're like, oh.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
cat's like 11 going on like 6 months old. He's like the worst. You walk by him, he's like, but like sweetest pie to my kid, but like I go within like 30 feet of that cat, he's like after me.
He's like a fucking he's like a New York street thug in the 70s. Just as you're walking by, he's fucking knife you up real quick.
He's brutal.
Ah,
Are you ready to jump off of this?
yeah, I think so.
All right.
Rick V Dub, Rick V Dub in the chat. I lie about my lizard size all the time.
For sure. For sure.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Corey.si.
Hello, hello. Uh-oh, hold on.
What do we got?
I hear the intro song somewhere.
Oh, is it?
There you go. Keep it going.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't see it coming through the board,
All right, good.
which is good. Might have been in the
It was a
background
ghost.
something. And we're here to talk about some cars, some continued CDK hack coverage. We're learning more and more about that every day. We're going to catch up with the K car stuff, as well as talk to our friend, Mr. Jock and Jake B.
Hello.
Welcome. He is here to chat about some automotive bodywork.
Painting, mostly.
May explain what liquid clips are.
Will think.
Laying down some high-end paint or high-end vehicle paint on some interesting vehicles.
Yes.
I'm very eager to hear about that.
Yeah. Just to set the record straight, I don't work straight. 99% of the time, I'm working on your everyday cars.
Okay.
So like, I'm not like a strictly exotic shop. It's
Yep.
like a very commercial business, but like, I definitely worked on some.
You cross paths.
I cross paths. We
Yeah.
twist those snakes.
You're an exotic guy working on.
Yeah. He's a man of many talents. I hear you at one point played with some fire trucks as well.
I did.
We found out some KD knows you because he said you worked with a friend of his
Yeah.
at the fire truck
Yep.
place or something like
Yep.
that. So you're like an onion, many layers.
Many,
we found
many
out a few
layers.
moments ago about a lizard named
Yeah.
Lou.
Lou, my dude. R.I.P.
So we're going to continue
Lou.
to find out more about his day-to-day and automotive experiences, as well as I said, cover some automotive news. Do we have any upcoming events this weekend? Yes, we do. Right, there's the Cars in brew. I'm gonna fucking forget it already. Jesus, even though they tagged us in it.
Your tongue isn't working currently.
No, it's not. It's this must have been what it was like to hear my daughter. I mean, hear me speak to my daughter the other night. See, exactly.
real.
Just,
Are you having a stroke?
no, I might be. I could be.
I'm on her side right now.
You
know what?
smell burnt toast.
You know what? I get it.
Do you taste copper?
You know what, Dad? Restart. Start fresh.
Yeah, shut
and
it
go
down.
from
Bring
there.
it back.
What
It
am I
is at
looking for?
Dockside Brewery.
Okay,
I believe it's Crafts and Cars.
that's the
Is the
word.
title of it. The brewery. It's in. I believe it's in Milford or Middletown, Connecticut. One of those two. Google Dockside Brewery. I don't know. Josh is gonna bring it up in a second.
Maybe.
Listen. I'm hopeful.
Crafts and Cars. Fun, laid-back event builds around a curated car showcase. Bring your favorite car, family, and friends for food, craft, beer, cars, and more.
Milford, Connecticut.
Milford.
Milford, Connecticut. I heard you got to get there early.
Yeah. Yeah, spots are probably already full.
Cars are currently parked there. You gotta get there. But yeah,
Yeah.
everyone should go. Have a good time. Drink a few brews. Hang out. Enjoy the day. There's a DJ. Someone who's all spinning the ones and twos. So yeah, go check that out. I think there's also, isn't there a pop-up Lock City Drift
I was going to say that Lock City,
this weekend as well?
I just wasn't sure. Yeah, it is just this weekend.
Yeah, it's a pop-up
Pop-up?
Lock City.
How does that work?
I don't know.
I think it's all.
Yeah, I was curious that as well.
You kind of need a locked-in spot to drift.
I think it's a
Pay at
pop-up event. The Saturday we're popping up. So I don't know if it's a last-minute track opening. They said, yeah, we'll grab it.
Yeah, like this wasn't on the schedule, but we're doing it
Yeah,
today.
Yeah. LCD pop-up event. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you're trying to go see some drifting, you got something to do. If you're trying to grab a few brews, you got something to do.
Yep. Solid car weekend you can schedule for yourself.
I've
let's-
got like 3 different parties to go to on Saturday.
Oh, boy.
You're up against it.
Yeah. There'll be no car activity for me on a Saturday. There'll be no such thing happening. Wait, are you still searching for it?
No, I'm going to switch. No. I'm switching profiles now because I have a ton of callbacks.
You get a bunch of creeper accounts.
Yeah.
Getting
I
off
just
the
had
burner.
so many callbacks in regards to the CDK stuff. It's just because I posted on my personal account because Motor Trend posted an update about the CDK hack, whereas CDK Global finally put out that they were in fact being held at ransom or were held at ransom. I don't know the timeline on this exactly, but my understanding is they were held at ransom. Whether or not it's taking care of itself or they paid or whatever, I don't know. But so many people reached out to just say, things like, let's see, it's because I posted again, hey, this is still going on. This is still affecting people. This is still affecting technicians, employees of dealerships, all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to keep everybody anonymous. A lot of the responses I got, hey, it's me. Hi, I don't know how I'm getting paid. Last 6 days have been a shit show. And it's just a handful of different responses like that. Ooh, actually, I have a really good Lexus callback too. Hold on. Now it's asking me to join Wi-Fi. Dude, I'm fucked up today.
You're like hanging on by a thread. Right?
I
Did
know.
you do beer?
No, I didn't. No, I'm drinking iced tea.
That Wawa tea got you all messed
Wawa.
up.
It's all screwed up.
It's been fermenting.
Yeah.
It's like that hooch.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. It just turned to fucking alcohol. Let's see. All right. Big callback. Also related to the CDK stuff. So again, anonymous stuff. Cannot find amounts that CDK has paid. Even to fellow, all right, never mind. That says even to fellow Revival staff. But it appears that there are already public lists of employee information, including SSN numbers, social security numbers. Now, this is all allegedly. We don't know if this actually happened, but these are the rumors that are being out there. Social security numbers, home addresses, payment information, phone numbers, along with any customer data, email, addresses, credit cards, business tax IDs, routing numbers, etc. This is really bad. If they have this info, they've been there for a while collecting intel. These types of attacks go undetected for weeks, and then usually they get tipped off via email or some security tool that has been blinking at them, and they probably disregarded for a while. I really want to know what they have in-house for IT/information security teams, or if they sub it all out to different vendors. That's a good question. I'm sure if this continues in the direction it seems to be continuing, CDK will have to put out that information. Let's see. Also, not many folks know things like this, but Snap-on had a bad attack years ago too. They pretty much lost everything and had to take their systems offline for a couple weeks.
Oh my god.
Let's
No
see.
wonder the price of tools went up.
Price of
Gotta
tools,
pay
yeah.
for that somehow.
Yeah, they got to cover it.
Yeah.
Now, what threat actors will do is based off the data that they have, they will start targeting customers for phishing. Loans with higher interest rates, pretending to be financial instructions to offer assistance paying it off, or saying there was a problem with your last payment, etc. This kind of information, with this kind of information at their disposal to filter it down into different attempts on people, i.e. older folks, etc. I could go on and on, like what do they do for encryption on that customer database, all that sort of stuff. So depending upon how bad it is, they will be forced to acknowledge what's been accessed along with providing anyone impacted assistance with their identity, etc., usually paid for by them. We've seen some of these big hacks. I forgot some of the companies. There's like class action lawsuits with some of the companies that have to provide support. I don't know if it was Target or somebody, but when there's data breaches, they have
Remember a
to.
big Target one.
There's some
Yeah.
they have to like provide. Hey, if your identity was stolen, we have to give you money towards it. However it works. Let's see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And that was the biggest one that really summarized everything. A handful of people, again, reached out and said, hey, we're doing everything old school and filling out all the forms, trying our best to log our numbers. We're going to be paid for 40 hours straight time, but that doesn't mean that's what we put in for work because we're being told we're going to catch up after the fact. All this stuff is
Who's
still
keeping track of that? Is
that's
someone writing it down on like a notepad?
As
So-
far as I know, from what I've been told, yes.
yeah. So I
Like,
received
legit old school, like every hour, every cent,
Yep.
everything that you can possibly do is going on pen and paper.
Yeah.
we received a photo and he's like, this is this week. And it was a stack about 8 inches tall.
Damn, it's good to be in the paper industry. Light them up, boys.
Keep
Burning
it
the candle
going.
at both ends right now.
Jeez, yeah. It's rough because I was telling you guys I picked up some parts at Honda, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I can't give you a receipt." And I was like, "I say less."
Which is like the easiest problem to have
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of this whole solution. Like,
But you emailed it to me anyway. That's fine. But it's like real shook up over it not being able to give a receipt. And then coworker went to go get an oil change done at a dealership. You know, obviously. And the guy was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird process, but bear with us." And it's just a handwritten, like receipt of
Right.
like
and then like not
the
only
oil
that,
change.
from like what I've heard, some of those dealerships are also like oil change. So you get the filter, you get the oil. Like you're also handwriting all the stuff that they use.
Yeah,
So it's like not even like one oil change done. Like
Yeah.
throw it in the stack. It's like everything.
every piece of inventory,
Every
everything.
little
Yeah,
piece,
yeah.
yeah.
How much? Yeah, how much oil? All that stuff.
So this one made me chuckle because John Stairs put out a meme the other day regarding the CDK hack. And it was just like, hey, we know we can't pay you, but here's a pizza party was basically
Yeah.
the summary of the meme. So I have a technician from a place after my post that said, it's rough out here. Today we got treats though.
Half a donut each.
Dude, it's a bag of Cape Cod chips and some Quest peanut butter cups. Not even Reese's peanut butter cups. There's some Quest.
That's some shit someone had in their fridge at home.
Dude,
They're like,
100%.
And then had pizza Wednesday, downgraded to cold cuts Thursday, nothing on Friday.
the expense budget ran out by Friday.
That's exactly what I thought. Like they blew through that insurance budget.
Jesus, that's rough.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that ain't it.
I mean, so you said you've been quick aside. You were out of work for a little while, had a new kid. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big congrats.
And you went back and you were looks a little different right here.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know what happened.
I didn't know what happened. I've been like under a bridge for like 7-ish weeks. So I know nothing. I come in and I'm like, it's looking a little weird in here.
What's going on?
And like, just people walking around, like parts. Because normally, like, I work at a big dealership and it's like from, say, 7:30 until I leave, it's parts truck after parts truck after parts.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm seeing parts trucks, but they're pretty sparse. And even the dudes that are coming out, they're looking a little confused and they don't have a whole lot on them. And then I finally got a little bit of the story today. And they were like, yeah, like, we can order parts, but we don't know when they're coming. We can't track them when they get here. We can't check them in. Like, billing is super strange.
Yeah.
And then, like, warehouses are having a hard time because they say they have it in inventory, but maybe it's on a truck, but maybe it's in a pile. And they're getting new parts from, you know, any manufacturer that we deal with. And when they show up, they can't put them into their system. So it's like, if we call for a bumper cover,
Yeah.
they could have 20 of them out back, but if someone doesn't exactly know that specific bumper cover, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? It could be here, it could not be.
Right,
Like,
because typically that
Yeah.
bumper cover would have like a
they
barcode assigned to it
scan
or
it in,
something.
it's on a
Yeah.
shelf, they know right where
It's
to go
that
and get
one.
it.
Yeah.
And so that ain't happening right now.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, like luckily our place, we have a different system for our payroll and all that. So like
Yeah.
that, on that aspect, like we're good on that front. So I've been told, but yeah, parts on top of like parts just being an issue in general, like still from like backlog from COVID, like now it's just like even worse.
Yeah.
It's like, how many parts are just going to get lost in translation somewhere?
The amount of parts that get lost in translation on a good day are like in fairness, the amount of parts that get brought to like big body it's insane.
Oh, it's got to be. It's
'Cause,
got to
like
be.
a very small job could have like 200 parts because you'll get
It's going to be a
30
mountain.
clips.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, who knows if a bag of 50 clips made it off the truck? It says it's here. Did someone actually see it? Did they see one bag and mark it as 3? Like, it happens.
Yeah. Did those clips get used on this other vehicle?
Right.
And now there's only 17 left in the bag?
Yeah, it happens.
It's wild out there.
Yeah.
So as of earlier this morning, CDK Global outage likely to last until July as ransom demand looms. Ransomware attack against CDK Global still has car buyers and dealerships reeling as an outage impacting back-end services continues. See, the Automotive Software as a Service, or SaaS company, was hit with the cyber attack last week that led to company-wide system shutdown and widespread operational disruption at many of CDK's 15,000 auto dealership customers. I don't think there's anything else in this article that we can add, but I just wanted to see, like, I haven't seen that officially the ransom was paid. Actually, let's see.
Do
CDK.
we know what they were asking?
Wow. So allegedly, or at least the number that was anonymously given to us was $50 million. Now, I was also walked through a bit of that because whoever's doing this they are pros.
Mm-hmm.
They can't, it's almost truly like a crazy business deal because they will not put out a number that can't be paid by the insurance company to then have the data or whatever the lock is or control of the system rightfully transfer back to the company because they really want their 50 million. And they know if they ask for an obscure one, it's not going to get, it's not going to happen. And then it's like, oh, okay, well then everything's gone. And there's no, it's a business deal. It's what they're unfortunately trying to do, and I say unfortunately, for the customers and the company that it's happened to. Supposedly that was the number. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. However, even on this article here on Thursday, Bloomberg reported that CDK planned to pay a ransom demand of tens of millions of dollars, citing an anonymous source familiar with the matter. So same with that. No real hard figure, but millions. It's in the millions somewhere.
My thing is, moving around $50 million, whether it's digitally, physically, it's got to be seen. How do you collect on $50 million under the radar?
Just send it to Ukraine.
Send it. That's
Seems
going to
to-
go offshore. Like, we're
Seems
going
to
deep
disappear.
offshore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Multiple accounts. Now, if they can hack whatever, hack a system to this level, I'm sure there's a plan But
Yeah.
to your point, right? I mean, yeah, somebody's going to be chasing this for. This is going to create work for a team of people.
I can't wait for the
imagine.
Netflix series.
Oh, it's going to be wild.
coming.
Oh, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a little mix between Tiger King and what was the Murdoch Murders. You know, a little mix between the two of them.
Or I was thinking the one like "Don't Be Mean to Cats." Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
TJC in the chat said we printed out our inventory and it's like 4 inches tall. We call it the Parts Bible.
I love that.
The Parts Bible. Put your hand on it on your way into work every morning.
Did you refer to the Bible?
Yeah. Right hand.
Oh my God. Ransom in the chat just says send it to AAMVA. They can wash it. I know who's definitely still sour and rightfully so about the K vehicle stuff, which I absolutely love and applaud. Let's see anything. Devin's Auto X. What is Revival's data policy? We don't have one, buddy. We're all out in the open book constantly. Big shouts to him for the chat as well.
2-factor authorization. That's about all I got.
That's as far as we go. I got a password I can't remember. Let's put that way.
Right. If my phone doesn't remember it for me, I ain't getting in.
Yeah.
It's like, looks like I'm starting
It's
a new
a wrap.
account.
It's a total wrap.
You're gonna hack me. I gotta hack me.
Yeah. Every time I need to open this, I'm gonna hack me. Yeah.
I can't even keep up with myself. Let's see. I
Also,
also had
pretty good security measure. If you can never remember your own password,
Honestly.
right. Just
It means it
continue.
changes all the
I was just
time.
gonna say you're constantly resetting it. Sure. Another response we got that says we got to deal with this in the collision shops too. So if y'all have a car at the body shop, might be hard to get parts, etc. Jake was just filling us in on that.
Yeah. T's and P's.
And then this person also said, I know y'all are big Lexus guys, so here's something cool on a Lexus LS that we got in the shop for a front-end collision. Send some photos. And I'll show the boys this one. You probably already know about this, Jake. But in a front-end collision, it has these two little rods that shoot up and push the entire hood up, destroying it in the process. But this is in order to save it from smashing into the fenders / windshield. It looks like a giant spoiler, although not as cool as the front spoilers on old school Lamborghini Countaches, but it is a perfect example why our insurance rates are shooting through the roof. And it truly is. These two ejectocito phallic.
So what do they do exactly?
I don't
So
know that I've seen these.
it
but I don't
pushes-
know that I've seen.
An LS. So it basically ejects the hood.
So in a front end collision, it blasts the hood up.
Yep. To prevent the fenders, windshield, and I assume like A-pillars from that hood smashing into everything else.
Yeah. So it's pretty typical. Very light front end hit.
Yeah.
Everything moves backwards. And
Yeah.
it's like the deer hit my car.
Yeah.
I didn't hit that deer. That deer hit me.
Deer.
Hit me
Front end
right in,
collision. Yeah.
the passenger side headlight. But
Yeah.
like when I moved my hood, driver's side fender, everything fine. As soon as I opened the hood, it just peeled my fender back like a can opener. Broke the windshield, like the whole nine.
So here's a picture of it with the hood still on, and you can see the hood is like 6 to 8 inches above everything.
Yeah. So if that works like it should, you would have to get dusted for that to like cause more damage. It's a cool idea, but I'm sure it's wildly expensive.
Yeah. It's just now simple stuff for like I say simple stuff for a 5 mile an hour collision,
Right.
which these days, especially on a new car, isn't exact. But maybe it can save some money. Maybe.
Also, like, imagine being like, you hit someone at 5 in a parking lot and your hood does that.
It's just
Like, you need to call a therapist after that.
Imagine the noise.
It's got to be insane.
right, because I don't think this is something that dealerships are letting people know. Hey, this car has the option of the hood eject, feature.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know the Huracan Spiders had something very similar to that.
Yeah.
When they thought they were going to roll, like something like that would shoot up so that if you did roll, it wouldn't just crush your head.
Very
I
generous
think
of
it
them.
was on like, it was one of the YouTube guys rebuilt one and he showed it. And he would like, no one had ever taken one apart before. So he was like trying to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And they were like on a charge
Yeah.
and shot up. And like, that was that. You couldn't get them down. You couldn't get anything. But it's like, if you're going to roll your Lambo, you're not going to get decapitated.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, They're forward thinkers over there.
Yeah. So to clarify something and get through my mush mouth from before. So I found the exact message about good criminals. So something must have gone wrong, or they really have a lot to recover. For cyber criminals, there actually is some honor among thieves. When they ransom your shit, they typically know what your cyber insurance policy is good for. And when they encrypt all your shit, good criminals will ensure your stuff gets recovered once paid. Otherwise, no one would be inclined to pay a shitload of money to get their data back. There's actually a whole business model to this from the pros, and it's pretty wild. So that's the...
So is the data gone, or has it just been copied?
I think it's just... No,
Or do they
it's
take
technically...
And they're
It's-
keeping it like for themselves.
Yeah, it's gone, but not deleted. It's gone from... It'd be like if I stole your wallet.
Yeah.
Hey, I have it. Give me some money to get it back. I'll give it back to you.
Oh, okay. I thought they just made a copy of everything.
Oh, I'm sure they took copies of all of it. So
you left it there, but then took a copy for themselves.
and I think those were a few points. Again, IT guys probably furiously punching the air with me, but I think that's the point of like saying they were probably in there for a couple of weeks, because it's like, oh yeah, get in there, copy all the data, which they can then sell to whomever
Yeah, migrated somewhere else. Yeah.
somewhere, and then be like, hey, we got your stuff. Ha ha ha. We took it all. You want it back? Here's the, sign here, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild fucking world we live into. And this is not to go down a whole path or a whole rant, but like, oh, we want everything on the same system. We want cars to talk to cars. We want all this sort of shit, all for your protection.
I'm surprised the CDK didn't just turn my Tesla off.
Right. So this is what I mean, is if we're going down that path and, oh, wait, somebody, I don't know, probably financed by Bill Gates, is going to come up with this great system where all the cars communicate to each other, and we're going to eliminate accidents. No more accidents. That's what they're going to sell us on.
That's bad for me. I don't care for that.
So, right. Yeah, there's many reasons. So they're going to eliminate that. However, when said company gets hacked and nobody can drive, or the Fast and Furious movie comes true and cars just start fucking ripping out of parking garages, hey, maybe we shouldn't have put everything on the same system.
Yeah.
And this is a great, it's a far stretch. That's a story you can build in your head is what I'm doing, but it's not impossible. So that's
definitely not.
Yeah. Do I have any other callbacks? I'm sure I do.
Sure you do?
Did I screenshot the document that I received, hopefully?
Screenshotting documents? What are we going on over here?
From the RMV.
He's low-key hacking himself.
Yeah. You're making yourself a target.
Yeah, probably.
From the RMV, you got to...
There was a document in regards to the K-Truck stuff. And I think my takeaway from it was like, again, as we cited in the emergency podcast, basically, somebody made a decision somewhere. They want to revoke and or not allow K-Trucks in particular to be registered. However, their verbiage in the memo that was sent out to the RMV listed, oh, yeah, here are these K-Trucks. So anything with a VIN that isn't 17 digits. I think we covered that before. And unfortunately, a lot of vehicles get lumped into that. Now, that's the verbiage. That's what was said on that memo. I don't think that's been corrected yet. I'm sure Pete is on top of that if it has or anything, but this is why everybody's reaching out to their state reps, et cetera, because this could all lead to a bunch of bullshit when people are trying to renew their registrations, renew vehicles that are truly federally legal, federally approved to come into the state, or the states around us, Massachusetts in particular as well, legally. So that's the problem. My question / deep thought, I really would like to know, whoever deemed these K vehicles to be unfit, they're citing the Fed says, no, we know that. But what is their beef, if you will? Is it because of vehicle size? Is it because of vehicle lacking airbags? Whatever the thing is, there's a million ways you could argue it for either older vehicles, other manufacturers, i.e. Other countries of origin.
Yep.
Because if it truly is a safety thing, no, these are too small for the roads these days. My thinking is, well, hold on. Can we make the same argument for the Hummer EV being way too fucking big for the roads these days? Because a 9,063 pound vehicle, a fucking piss missile. I seen one go by me on the highway the other day, and I'm like, there's no fucking reason for that thing.
It's so big.
Get it the fuck out of here. I don't care. Like, I'm going to stand on this hill. It's the stupidest I thought the Cybertruck was stupid. I fucking hate Hummer EVs. I do not care what they do.
I haven't seen one in person yet.
I do not care if they crab walk. I don't fucking care if they have green eggs and ham. I don't give a fuck about these stupid vehicles. Get them the fuck off the road, because there is nothing like that thing will literally metal missile through anything it hits besides one of its own. Like, they're going to fucking hit each other, and I don't know, a black hole is going to open up.
And that's the immovable object against the unstoppable force.
Yeah, it's just like there's no fucking reason
Have
for
you seen the like a video of a Rivian like plowing through Jersey barriers?
Yeah.
And it just like keeps going. Jersey barrier doesn't even phase it. It's just right through.
Because
have you seen a Hummer EV yet in person?
Yeah, there's one. There's a dealership not far from me that has one, and it's like brown. It legit looks like a boulder.
right.
You drive by and like if they parked it next to a rock, it would just blend in.
Right.
Oh, that's not true. I saw one. I was in Aruba, and there was an orange
There's one in Aruba.
Dude, it was,
What boat did that go there on?
you could rent it. You could rent
I'm surprised
it.
their grid has enough power to
I don't think it does. I think
Yeah.
it takes like a week to
they
charge.
plug that in and all the hotels just go. Doo.
They gotta wait for typically everything there is like a Saturday to Saturday. They gotta make you wait for like a Saturday morning while everyone's like leaving.
Right.
People's fridges start turning off. Just all of it.
Yeah,
All of it.
that's right. There was a bright orange one in Aruba for rental.
It's just like if you want to tow, K trucks are not safe for our highways. Well, have you seen the Hummer EV? Because in comparison to 99, I mean, let's even just compare, right? The top selling vehicles, I believe Toyota Camry, F-150. Yeah. F-150 is pretty big anyway, but it's all aluminum, and it's certainly not a fucking Hummer EV. But if you go, the difference in size from Toyota Camry to Hummer EV, like, you could probably make the argument, oh, the Camry's too small. It's not safe enough for the idea isn't we should get bigger. It's just, maybe not have those on the road. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't think they do either. I think that's the problem here.
Right. It's just somebody somewhere made a decision. I would love to find out why. Please cite the reasons, especially when you compare it to multiple other manufacturers, vehicles, etc., currently on the road. I don't get it. Maybe we'll never get an answer.
Well, I mean, you can think about the K cars from like the 80s and 90s. Those tiny little cars, like Chryslers and all that.
Yeah. Chevy Citation.
Yeah.
Or, was it Citation?
Wildly slow, small.
Yeah.
You hit a nickel in the road, they crumble into nothing. Like, those were the most unsafe things in the world, and they were selling those like hotcakes.
Yeah. Just no quarrel with that.
Ford Festiva. Dude, the Ford Festiva I had.
Is that the one that was like the OG smart car? It was like just a seat?
It's small. I had 80 something, like a late 80s Ford Festiva. It was like a 1 liter 4-cylinder carbed,
63 horsepower.
Yeah, it's
a frisky 63 though.
Right, so it's spicy.
That's how I learned how to drive stick on that car.
I love that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I wasn't gentle.
Yeah, the Metro. Metro was
right.
a 3-cylinder.
Right, Geo Metro.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Geo Metro. Yeah, it's awful. You look at it wrong, it's rolling over.
Yeah.
It's literally an egg. The Geo Metro.
I think those were plastic too, no?
I know that was like my wife's first car was a Geo Metro. I can't remember if she said it was a convertible or not.
But just talk about like Geo Metro convertible.
I'm thankful. Oh yeah.
The only thing cool about those, they came in some wild colors.
You're grateful she's here today to
I
talk
am.
about it.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is like I'm glad she survived.
Jeez. Yeah, they were big in the purples.
Purples, pinks.
Yeah.
My aunt had a teal one. Yeah.
Wow. Geo Metro?
Oh my God. There's one. Oh my God.
How much is it?
Dude. It's $5,000.
Let's put eyes on
I was going to say,
Larry.
we can pop this thing up real quick. Let's bring this up there.
Oh, shit. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right. It took me a second, but I'm good.
That's all right.
Spokane, Washington.
75,000 miles.
Look at this thing. Yeah, it's just 2 seats.
I mean, this is a pristine example.
She's nice. She's nice for sure.
Automatic.
A little bit of tweed on the
Yep.
inside.
Yep.
Oh, dash mat. Oh, this has got an airbag. That's not bad.
Well, I don't know. It says it does.
It suggests that it will pop out.
Those seats have seen some stuff.
So those seats have seen some ass.
Oh, yeah.
How wide they are. The bottoms of those things.
Many a fart has been laid. In
For as
those
small
seats.
as that car is, those are the widest seats.
Dude,
They extend past the plastic
you
base.
can really spread out.
Yeah. Really explore the space in those things.
Gee.
I mean, now just imagine this poor little Geo Metro with these pancake seats up against the fucking EV. Look at that key. Oh my God.
Key,
Dude.
it's not even shaped anymore. It's just a blade of metal.
It's just flat.
It looks like the Civic key.
Like you could absolutely go start that with a screwdriver.
Dude, nail file. Just fucking piece of gum, dude.
It's wild.
Oh my God. I
Props in
mean,
good shape.
I was going to say the
Dude.
top looks real fresh.
Dude, someone went into a dealership at one point and bought that with a serious face.
Yeah.
How much was that thing new?
Probably less than that.
What's the what do we have? 55 horsepower, 1 liter, 3-cylinder. Inline 3 though. Bet you if this was a triangle.
3 previous owners.
Wow. No price analysis. Yeah, I don't think so.
We can finance this bitch for fucking
72 months.
$99 a month.
Stretch her out.
Dude,
9.7 APR too.
that's right. You can try your local
Credit
local
union.
credit union to get that down.
Wow. That's impressive. Is that the only one that came up for sale?
It is actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I
or at
haven't
least
seen-
on Car Gurus it is.
Yeah, that's fine. Jeez.
Yeah. Magical little vehicle.
What? a
That's
wild
allowed.
thing.
That's fine. You know, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, there's not many. I mean, when's the last time you saw one on the road?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
When's the last time you saw a K truck, a K vehicle on the road?
Other than a donut meat.
I see like one a week. Usually it's a pickup truck bombing around.
Yeah, there's a few by me.
Yeah.
And then I found out the other day, the street I never go down. I don't know who this guy is. I'm trying to find out who he is. Like, I live in, like, the woods. You know that.
Yeah.
Go around this corner, and it's got a Honda Beat sitting at the end of the driveway, and then he had, I want to say, a K van, a K truck, and then an R34 Skyline.
Oh, he's up against it right now.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of
my
inventory. He's going to have
God,
to move.
Hot on this right now.
Yeah.
But, like, just, you never, like, the dude down the street from me has one on Swampers that I assume came off a quad. And,
Yeah.
like, that's what I expect to see around me. But, like,
Yeah.
I was not expecting to see the, like, Godzilla sitting over there.
Right.
Yeah, he's up against it right now. He's looking at the RV stuff like,
Dude's got some money tied up in assets.
yeah. Looking out in his driveway. He's like, honey, we got an issue.
Yeah.
Didn't see this coming.
Yeah, he got 4 vehicles. We got to move somewhere. But I don't know. We'll see where we land.
Yeah. I think that is all my immediate callbacks and / deep thoughts /
Yeah.
rants.
Events this weekend. We covered that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, not too much else going on. What's up with what are you even working on with the R? Anything new with that? Quick paddock talk.
You want us
Uh,
to go start sanding it?
yeah, we
Yeah.
should
Just prep that real
we
quick.
should fucking start prepping it. Yeah, for the long term plans. No, nothing immediately. No, what the hell was I doing? Still
Tires
polishing
showed
the
up, right?
wheels. Yep, I got some tires for the wheels. I still got to figure out suspension for the car, but I actually did get it over. I don't know if I mentioned this. Did get over to KD's. Have a bit of a laundry list of parts I need to grab for it. Just all maintenance stuff.
Yep.
Got to do all that in the coming weeks. And the plan, I really don't have a plan. I'm not in a super rush. I want to drive it, but I want to make sure I address the issues that it has. So hopefully that comes together pretty soon. The real plan is I want to get it for a couple of big drives and then ultimately our rally in hopefully October is when that is aiming to be, but I don't know for sure yet. So, but that's really what I'm targeting. Get it done before that, but
Yeah.
you know, that's really the what my focus has been on.
You may want to put a few miles on it before that.
Yeah. I have another drive I want to do that would be stupid. But who knows? We'll see.
I like stupid things.
Yeah.
For sure.
Big fan.
I say
Be
let
fun.
it eat.
Yeah.
Just right off the rip.
I mean, 3.2, never lose.
I hear you. I had the 2.8 24 valve. And
Yeah.
Brother, I beat that thing. There was many a second gear rollback going on in that car.
Oh, dude.
Within an inch of its life.
I only blew one up.
One.
And that wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, it sucked in some water and shot a rod after I held it to the limiter. But besides that,
That was just, I was doing the burnout in a puddle. That's all.
I went through a puddle during a monsoon, sucked in water. I was like, all right, I see where this is going. Let it sit for the night. Took the plugs out of it, started it, like got the water out of it, started it, and it was just limped it to my parents' neighborhood. I was living with them. As soon as I hit the neighborhood, I just put the clutch in and just as long as, because it was 2.2, no limiter, and it just, yeah. And there was like a 2-mile strip of oil and just parts of my block falling into the street.
So there was still some water in there.
There was some water, a little bit of water, not too much Royal Purple left in
Yeah.
there. It was not ideal.
Yeah. So we know why that one blew up.
We know why that one blew up.
Yeah. The rest of them, knock on wood, they're good.
Pretty stout.
Not going to steal. Yeah. All right. You want to jump into B for B?
Yeah, let's do the B for B. We don't have a B for B noise. We usually have a shook who says it. But what is B for B, you ask? Well, B for B stands for Bucks for the Boys. That is how we keep this whole revival motoring thing rolling, this podcast in particular, as well as the studio and our other shows that we bring to you week after week after week. You can go to our website, revivalmotoring.com, where you can find on our shop a sustainable donation of $2, $5, $10, $20. Hell, you can even manipulate those. Give us $4 if you want, whatever it might be. Whatever you can do. That's all we ask. You go there, sign up for that sustainable donation. It hits you once a month, and it keeps us going. For less than a coffee, you can help, fund the lights in this place. You can help fund my vacuum for some of the bugs I got to clean out of the lights above us.
I see someone put a label on the candle now.
Oh, they also labeled that candle. Yeah, so whoever that is, fuck off. I'm going to cancel your show if you continue it with the labels because...
I got hands feet when that label.
You're just wasting our labels. Or I want a new show. I want fresh labels. I want a whole fucking roll. Show up here.
Yeah.
I won't even ask. Anonymous roll needs to show up here.
Leave it.
So, if you go to our website again, sustainable donation there. That's B for B. It helps keeps things rolling here. We understand economic sad time. Nobody's actually admitting to that, but we get it. It's tough out there in the streets. It's tough out there. Hell, it's tough out there in the homes. So if you can't, sign up for the B for B, just share us. Share us with your friends, your family, whoever might listen, your coworkers. We heard somebody was playing us on an airplane. They probably can never fly again, but still, we like the effort. We like the gusto. We really appreciate that. So
Pass us around.
yeah, just keep passing us around as much as you can.
Yeah.
Hell, share, know somebody with a K-Truck, share the episode for the emergency podcast that we just did to find out about all that information. I think it was 306 was the first. Somebody sent it to me saying, wow, good timing, because I just am re-listening to all of them, and I'm on 306, which is the Save the K episode. So that's out there as well if you really want to get clued in.
306? You mean 206?
206. Maybe it's 206.
306 was only 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe it's 206.
It's
It
going
was
to
a
be
while back.
206.
Yeah.
That makes
So,
sense.
You can share that with them, share that with whomever, but that's how we, keep this train rolling. And if you are an active B for B subscriber, you'll get some stuff in the mail from us because we have your address. We're not going to sell it to anybody, at least not for a good rate anyway.
50 million? You're in trouble.
Yeah, that's fucking gone. So we will send you some stuff, and you are automatically entered to win some stuff from us once a month. Last month we gave away a skate deck. We give away some baskets
trying to do another
when
one
we
of those?
can. I think we can do another skate deck. Yeah, I got
I need another photo.
a handful of photos. So we like to put that together, give something back to you. You can still use our code. That's Revival, REVIVAL, at ISC Suspension. Go visit their website. And, we try to give back where we can. Help us, help you, help us. That's all. With each and every week, we have a rating system that we have titled the BPL, which stands for Bucks Per Listen. we calculate that information, and it helps us judge how good or bad last week's episode was. So, Corey, you have that information. What is our BPL this week?
BPL. Now, mind you, this is for 2 episodes.
Yes,
It's
that's
2
true.
episodes.
That's true. Right.
Came in at 21 cents per listen.
That throws things off a bit. Ooh, it's still pretty strong for
Still
2.
pretty strong. It's pretty strong. 2 episodes. We snuck in a little double content.
Yep. It was an emergency. We had to. We had no choice. The government didn't. The government forced our hand.
Yeah, to have this emergency conference.
Yeah.
With none other than Pete.
Pete from
It's
Ransom.
great to have him in. But yeah, 2 episodes last week. I mean, look at that.
Yep. Double dose of us.
Pretty easy to do.
You know, what's funny is our rankings on like Apple and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's pretty hot. I'm like, oh, we should just record every day. Let's go up.
I have an idea.
Okay.
It's not super wild, but I have an idea.
Okay. I like
It
that.
involves double content for everyone.
Love
and no
that.
more work for us.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That is the B4B, so we appreciate that. Let's cue these boys.
If you'd like to leave a call
Not
back
that
number,
one.
That's not it
press
at all.
2.
I didn't even hit that one before, did I?
Well, now you did.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
There, I was just catching up. News.
The news.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna talk more about the CDK?
No. It's. There's the new M5.
I got that pulled up here.
It's big.
I was highlighting a few things on it.
If you want to talk about it,
Yeah,
I'll pull it up
you
on
wanna
the
swap it over there?
screen. Yeah.
So, I mean, the headline reads, arrives with 717 plug-in hybrid powertrain horsepower. However, underneath, you find out it weighs 5,400 pounds.
Mamma mia.
1,100 pounds more than the previous generation. And also more than a BMW X5M.
Which is wild.
Is absolutely out of pocket. You want to know what else is out of pocket about this? $121,000
Starting.
starting. I don't even know where you go from here. Like, I don't know what you can do to build this up. Maybe some paint colors would tack on a little bit, but like, it's not like you can really throw a lot of options at this car.
Right. Is there going to be like a special seat package, I'd imagine?
It also is heavier than a full electric 2024 i5 M60 X-Drive. So a full electric car, all battery car, weighs more. I don't know if I'm really surprised with that. The X5M surprised me more than anything else. As we kind of, I got a squeaky chair over here. Here's another thing, and we'll talk about this other car in a little bit. But so BMW says it does 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. But the new Golf R claims they do it in like under 4.1. But the new Golf R has 60% less horsepower.
Yeah.
But it also weighs
Weighs
weighs probably 2,200 pounds. Actually, what? Probably about 2,200 pounds less. So I guess the math is mathing. But when you look at just the raw numbers of it, it's hard to kind of break it down and comprehend. Actually, yeah, you got it pulled up right there. Top speed of 190 with the optional driver's package.
M drives package. So there's one package.
That's crazy. You can do 87 miles an hour and get 25 miles of range if you go full electric. So, I mean, 25 miles of range, full electric. I guess you could kind of, if you got a short commute. But, I mean, you're going to buy that car and you're going to drive in full electric?
Right. What is the point of I just don't.
Why? Why would you drive in full electric?
Right. What is the point?
I want to drive in the M Drive professional package mode only at all times, which is intended for track use only. That's why I'm trying to hit Blackstone Boulevard in that.
Yeah. Just constantly.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other different modes, it looks like. So actually I have the size of it. Let me bring that up. I got this highlighted here. I thought, no, I did. Yeah, it's down here. Let me keep it moving. Keep it moving. Where are you? All right, here we are. So instead of doing 20s all around, the wheels are now 20 inches out front, 21 inches back with a 0.4 inch wider track width. And damn, where did it go? I thought I had it highlighted. Damn, shame on me. Thought I had it. Oh, right here. M5 is growing 1.2 inches longer overall, 2.7 inches wider, 2.1 inches taller, and its wheelbase is stretched by almost an inch. And now it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you put two cars side by side, all of a sudden an inch
Right.
means a lot. I mean, those seats. It's crazy. Chuck just got his M5. Great time for him to get his M5.
Yeah. Hell of a time.
Great time for him to get his. I mean, his car is everything that you want it to be and nothing that you don't without, I mean, probably there's complications with, you know, a wild engine like that, but then when you don't have to throw like a hybrid powertrain at it,
Yeah.
then it's like all of a sudden it becomes like this manageable thing to like comprehend and worked on.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't really care for how it looks.
I mean,
color,
the
that
look.
particular green is beautiful, but like,
Yeah. The rest of it is just like,
It looks unfinished.
yeah, it looks kind of blah and like, oh, okay, that's
yeah,
that,
the
I guess.
bumper, I don't really. It's not for me.
Yeah, it looks unfinished. How long until you paint one of these things?
I don't see a lot of those.
No,
No.
it seems like it's lacking a lot of its body
It's a
characteristic.
little
like-
bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. There's not a ton going on with that.
Especially
Which bland
those.
is fine. Like E39 M5s,
You can,
Oh,
they're round, but they're the best.
yeah.
Like,
they're delightfully bland.
That
Yeah,
rear
like-
quarter, it's like they kind of just gave up after the door. Yeah, and you get like a wider shot of it. It's tough. I don't know. The design style, you know, I mean, BMW's design style, short of the new M2,
Has been lacking.
pretty tough lately. I also just rented a X2, a 2 Series Active Tourer mini van thing for when I'm in Europe. That's going to be interesting. And it's a 6-speed.
Oh.
So that's going to be weird. But yeah, so that right there. So that like rear quarter where the gas door is, it's kind of like that line should maybe go all the way to the taillight and trunk,
Right.
or
Instead of ending 3/4 the way through it.
or like the bumper shouldn't be the rear bumper shouldn't be so sucked in towards the trunk and maybe come out a bit more
I
towards the
was
wheel.
just gonna say maybe the bumper shouldn't be 3/4 of the quarter panel.
Dude, look at it, dude.
Right, that's true.
It's so big. It's so big. What happened to bumpers? Like the bumper would be at the trunk line,
So I was
like
just
the
gonna
bottom of the trunk where you would like load it in the trunk. Bumpers used to just be there. That's
rear-
where the bumper was.
the rear bumper is now technically like the side of the car. It's
Yeah.
a part of the side of the car.
What, is that for like rare impact? Less to deal with? Less to replace?
Oh no.
You know how much stuff is
It's
probably
the
under there?
opposite of that. Yeah.
Is it metal? Metal's easier just to work with than replacing a bunch of plastic.
Yes and no. I mean, bumpers at this point, their BMWs aren't really that bad. Their bumpers are pretty good to repair, but we don't, aside from scratches or like a good gouge or something, we don't really. It's cheaper and most of the time just to get a new bumper.
Yeah,
But
than
like-
to put time into it.
That unit is probably like $2,000, not including any of the other stuff. Probably.
Right.
Yeah, any of the sensors that get plugged underneath the
Yeah.
what's the I'm drawing a blank on the name now. Josh, your
Bumper support, the foam.
no, like the spats in the back.
Yeah, like
Your
Oh, diffusers.
yeah, there you go, diffusers. Your mud mouth is really
Yeah,
probably just like
it's
a name your price type of thing on that.
oh
Like,
my
who knows?
God. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough look.
plus the side profile. Like that does I don't like that at all.
You know
It's
what it
like-
reminds me of? You know how the E60 M5 was like ultra pedestrian looking?
Yeah,
I think it kind of reminds me of that. a
especially
little
the
bit.
front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that shot of it right there makes it like it's just doors.
It's all doors.
It's all
Right,
doors.
right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, kidding. Oh, well, hey, you know what? It won't be long. Actually, I'll tell you when we'll start to see these bad Larrys. Let's see. Looks like it's going to make its global debut at Goodwood in July, so in a few days. and enter production the same month. We're going to sale around the world in November. So for the end of the year, we will definitely see these out and about. Also, almost $9,000 more than the previous generation. That cost of living.
Yeah.
Going up.
Big
oh my God.
inflation.
I totally left this out. I had to go to Honda to pick up parts. I already mentioned that. As I'm walking out of the parts department to my car, driving the Tesla, this guy pulls up in like a newer Civic, and he like rolls down the window and he's like, "Hey," and I look, he's got a Honda like Polo on, and he's like, "Hey, can I offer you a free test drive?" Mind you, I didn't think test drives cost anything. A free test drive in a Honda Prologue. And I'm like, what's a Honda Prologue? He's like, it's Honda's like EV SUV. And I was like, nah, man, like EV's not really my thing. And then I'm like, I get it. I see this. This was cheap. And he was like, cheap? And I told him, I was like, yeah, like they got a crazy lease deal, whatever. And he was like, I can't compete with that. See you later. And just
Right? It's amazing what you can get a Tesla for now.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, so I had to Google like Honda Prologue. Like
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that, a Honda Prologue. No wonder why they're offering free test drives. Maybe he just wanted to get me in a car.
Maybe. You just liked your vibe.
Just trying to get hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what my vibe.
Wow.
I had to Google what it was.
I don't mind the looks of this thing. Interestingly enough, I have no care for it, but
Let me get eyes on this.
it's actually better looking than I thought. I pictured something way too futuristic and ugly. I mean, this isn't perfect, but who is? It's not that bad.
No, that's not terrible.
No.
We had some, it was like a weird Toyota sedan I had never seen before, just sitting out in front of my work today.
The new Crown?
Maybe it was a
The
Crown.
Crown,
I
did it
don't
look
know.
tall and two-tone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
It was like,
it's the new Crown.
I kind of forgot it was there, so I didn't go out and look at it, but I remember pulling in and being like, what is this thing?
That's the new Crown.
No, that's
Am
not
I-
that bad.
Am I just missing this? Like, when did red, blue, black, silver... Actually, here we go. So black, blue, red, gray pearl, white. Like, when did those become premium colors? Whereas the mercury silver metallic, no additional $500 added on, but every other color there is.
Because they can.
It's crazy.
I mean, pearl cars because it is an extra step.
Yep.
And the red cars because they're candy.
Okay.
But, yeah. Because they can.
Yeah. Because it's on everything. Like, even with your lease, you had to pay
Yeah, the
extra for
blue.
different
So
colors.
the blue and the white was an additional $1,000. The black was $1,500, and the red was an additional $2,000.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and apparently, like, back in the day, like, just straight black was $2,000 extra. That's, like, ludicrous.
Just straight
Like,
black.
To just get a black car, they're going to charge you $2,000. Like, I'll just spray paint it. Like,
You get one of those what's the giant like spray paint can?
Oh, the turbo can.
The ultra
turbo
tip
can.
on the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
I see some guys out there in the streets
yeah.
painting cars on the side of the
Like the
a new-
audacity to charge someone that amount of money for, like, the cheapest possible color.
Yeah, it's wild, but
Shouts to Sleepy S13 for the donation in the chat. Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, new M5. Sure,
There's that.
whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say about it? What else you got, Josh? You got
Not
anything
much
else?
you can say about that one. You know what?
If you don't, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the new Golf R.
Yes, please
Okay,
do
just
that.
the facelifted Golf R,
Okay.
2025 Golf R. Now,
Oh, they finally revealed it. Yes. Because they
Now-
were teasing it with a bunch of black accents, right?
that's a package.
Oh,
now.
okay.
So Chuck's brother, I think we talked about it on here. Maybe not. I don't know. Ordered new Golf R.
Yeah.
It came in silver wheels. I mean, the silver wheels on this car are perfect. Now he had a Mark 7.5 Golf R, and it had black wheels, and they were all right, but it just kind of like lost a lot of like looks.
Yeah.
This new thing came in again. He got another white Golf R, silver wheels. Oh, it's like
Silver wheels black wheels are good like the day you get it, and
Yeah.
then they're just trash after that.
yeah. It just the silver wheels set it off so nicely. It's such a great car. It's such a nice car. there's like this weird, like tiny, like blue accents everywhere that aren't overbearing. It's a really nice car. So this facelifted model here, making 13 more horsepower than the previous generation, so it brings it up to 328. Let's see, what do we got? We got some visual tweaks inside and out. I'll go over those in a little bit. Black Edition is what Josh was just looking at. That Black Edition is darkened badges, black brake calipers, which is crazy because that's just like a standardized thing. Black exhaust tips,
Just on
black
everything.
wheels, and that's it. And it's coming to the U.S. So if you want a black car with a weird badge that says black,
Yep.
just black on the side of it, hey, there's something for you. Some of the other things we can see on the standard 2025 model, get a light up VW badge up front, which I wish you could turn that off.
Yep.
New headlights, new reworked bumpers, taillights are redone, new 19-inch wheels, which seems to be a two-tone now. Are they a silver and black jam?
It looked it.
Yeah. It looks like a silver and black jam there. No more manual transmission. So you're getting 7-speed dual clutch automatic only now. You know, I it's a driver's car. You know, like it's a cool driver's car. They drive great, they handle great. You know, manual. You know, I think it's a hot hatch. Why wouldn't you want a manual?
Right.
Why would you stop offering a manual? I don't know what's up with that.
What are we calling this one? Is this an 8.5?
It's an 8.5.
8.5.
It's 8.5. This is mid cycle refresh.
What's super cool?
The Haas has always seems to be the ones to get. In this case, not so much, because if you wanted a manual, you had to get an 8. You couldn't get an 8.5.
What's super cool of VW to do is not put any photos on their VW US media site. That's awesome.
Sick.
It's so good. I'm really glad we have to visit other websites like
Yeah,
Car and Driver
Car and
to
Driver gets it done for us.
provide them for us.
I will say the price is going up to $47,690.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
This is no longer the people's car.
No.
No longer.
No.
47. I mean, I get it. It's not going to be the cost of an average car in America. It's a premium car for sure. It's a premium Volkswagen car for sure. But I mean, let's just call it $50,000.
Right.
It will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
The taxes and everything out the door.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
Destination fee.
A $50,000 Volkswagen. That's hot. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at. You know, I don't know if this blue is different. I don't know if it's just these photos. It looks like a different blue from. Oh wow, God, that's a good looking blue.
It's
Is it just me, or has Volkswagen always done blue correctly?
they've nailed blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Windsor blue.
I mean, it used to be part of their logo.
that's
It
That's
used
true.
to-
That's true.
DBP,
oh,
Jazz Blue.
Jazz
Yeah.
Porcelain Blue was always a good one.
Yep.
porcelain blues are great. Yeah, what's the 20th blue? What do they call that? Oh,
It's Jazz.
that's Jazz. Yeah.
And then even
What's a
Audi
new one? Cornflower.
cornflower.
Oh, cornflower. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Audi with Nagaro and all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always done blue correctly. Great looking car in person. You know, like thinking of when Chuck's brother brought his home or to work, and we all looked at it. I was like, "Well, yeah, I get it."
Yeah. They,
It's getting to look a lot like a. Hold on. You know what? Maybe it's just me. Maybe we're going to do. Oh yeah, it has a hood.
You already know what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like any other car with 4 wheels.
Yeah.
What do you think it looks like?
Hold on.
Oh,
Let me
boy.
see. It's
I
gonna
tell you
be
what,
close.
isn't it? These new Black Edition wheels, those would not last 1 mile on our roads over here.
yeah. Those spokes are looking a little thin for
Those
our
would be
potholes.
broken in half. Yeah. Those wheels are actually named after the town they developed the R in, I think. Is that what they're saying? What do we got here? What do we got? Rework bumpers. Vito calls them, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, after the name of the town where the R division is headquartered. It's said to reduce unsprung weight. I mean, it's certainly reducing weight. I don't know what else is going to have an issue with. Are you just trying to search for something that's going to work out?
No. I'm just looking for a side profile photo so I can
Oh.
compare direct to direct. Oh, here we go. There
Okay.
we go.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get that.
It's just it feels like it's getting taller and taller and looking closer and closer to that in particular.
Yeah, I can see it for sure. Especially because they're both 4 doors now.
Let me see if I can just get the. Oh,
X out of that one. Yeah, we don't need that window tab. All right, so
There we
we're
go.
comparing this now to a 2011 Subaru WRX. Want to just snap?
it should, but it won't.
Yeah.
There we
Oh
go.
well.
There we go.
Yeah, we go. Shrink it down. So 2011 Subaru WRX to a 2025 Volkswagen Golf R.
Hood's a little bit longer.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that profile of the 8.5 was like the last gen Speed 3.
Yeah, that's actually Yeah,
Like
Speed 3.
this right here just looks like if you got rid of that, you couldn't convince me that it's not like a Subaru or something.
I will say the Subaru, the hatch is way more sloped.
It is.
It's more
Right,
of like
right,
what we
right.
call a lift back versus a hatch, where the back of the Golf R is pretty vertical.
It's just right. It's just stubbied
Yeah.
the Golf R, whereas that's
vertical.
drawn out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of cars are just looking.
So actually scroll down to the seats again. I know it's trying to describe some of these minor blue accents, and I didn't notice this, and I don't know if his brother noticed it right away at first. But so you see in the perforations of the leather. So in the perforations of the leather,
Here?
underneath
Yeah,
is blue,
so it's like,
like
a blue
blue-
backing.
Very light hint.
like a blue Alcantara underneath the perforations. So just in like certain angles and certain light, you catch like a blue tint come through the seats.
Huh.
It's a really cool detail that if someone didn't point it out to me, I don't know. Not like I would have ever spent enough time in a car of one of these to really figure it out, but it's like a cool like little. Hey, we're diving into the blue thing, but not too heavily.
Right, they we'll lightly introduce the blue. We don't want to go full blue.
Yeah, we don't want to go too crazy like that. So, but yeah, that's all I got on the 2025 Golf R, the 2025 M5. 2 cars I'm never gonna buy. But
Yeah,
I think it's my job for a few hours every Wednesday to talk about it.
2025 Bentley Continental GT
Yeah, this is
with
something I
that.
can get. Yeah,
Now
it's
we're
something I can get
talking.
behind.
in.
Yeah,
Let's see. Ooh, Bentley's going with hybrids as well. 771 horsepower. I just want to. All right, just for kicks, how far off
Wait.
is this pricing in comparison?
771. Isn't that oddly close to what the M5 just
So
was?
that's what I was just going to say. Is just purely.
Is it also a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8?
Hold on. Let's
Probably
see.
W12.
W12 is dead. Long live the hybrid V8. At least that's what Bentley said on Tuesday when they revealed the facelifted Continental GT and GTC Speed featuring a new hybrid V8 powertrain. I'm going to put that up to the side in a moment, making 779 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. It's the most powerful Bentley yet, and like its predecessor, the Continental GT Speed maxes out at 208 miles per hour.
Cool.
Bentley's hybrid system is similar to other high-end Volkswagen Group plugins, like the new Porsche Panamera, Cayenne Turbo, and Lamborghini Urus SE. There's a 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack mounted to the rear, which powers an electric motor sandwiched between a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. Where is the price? I just want to see the price, or at least a rough
Control F
idea.
that shit.
It's a fucking super short article with nothing that I want to talk about.
You just want to talk price?
I would truly just want to see how far off it was from the M5 in particular, just out of curiosity. It's
I would
probably,
guess double.
I was going to say, it's probably way, way up there,
2025 Bentley Continental GT is expected to start around 250 and go up to about 345.
but- oh my God, dude. All right.
Yeah, so exactly double and then go up to
Plus. yeah.
triple.
Yeah. Double plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a looker.
Hey, you know what looks better than
It
the
is-
2025
it is a looker.
M5?
The Bentley.
2025 Bentley Continental.
It's like not even close.
I mean,
You're at
if
least
I ever hit the lottery, there'll be signs.
you're at least getting something for your money.
I'm going to step out of the Bentley Continental shirtless and pantsless.
Yeah, in that color specific.
Yeah. This specific, like, actually, are these probably are rendered? I'd imagine.
I'm going to be walking around the donut meat in my underwear.
If it's the same one that
I-
I've seen come out,
Dude.
you can get like these wild tricolor seats in it.
Oh
It's
boy,
like
like the
insanity.
Oh my God, it's so
The
good.
headlights, wild.
The front end,
I love it.
the bulbous rear
Yeah, see, that's a nice rear end.
vehicle with some hips. Oh,
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 that's it.
Oh my God.
God, the wheels are good too on it.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
don't know if I freak on the orange or green.
Orange on green is a statement.
Right. It's a vibe for
bold
sure.
man
It's a
spec
vibe
that
for
car.
sure.
Yeah. I wonder, like, all right,
Hold
so
on, there's more
I'm
photos.
curious. You go in. I mean, where's our Bentley dealership? Warwick,
Boston, I think.
Boston. Okay, so you go in. You're like, yeah, I'm here to spec
Oh.
out my
Ooh, the
2025.
yellow is it
Yeah.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
with that.
And it's not even like a little yellow accent. That is a full on 1.5 inch commitment.
Yeah. You go in and you're like, I am here to spec out my 2025 Bentley Continental GT. You sit down, you go through the whole rigmarole, the whole thing. What is the lead time?
not quick.
Is it
you're
like-
getting custom colors and stuff?
Yeah, how
like,
freaky you get with it.
my guess, I have no idea on timeline, but my guess with something like that is it's probably not even an issue with like getting a one-off paint job. It's more like interior, like
Yeah,
you
trimming
want a
that.
one-off color leather. Like they have to make it. Like where you gotta
They
go
had to go
find
find the cow.
the cow.
They,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Find
that
the cow.
they got to grow the purple cow first.
Yeah.
Oh, it better come with
Get
that
me with
luggage.
the luggage.
The only thing that's wrong with that is it doesn't match the car.
It should be the
This is
same. The
true.
leather should be
Same-
the same color as the paint.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. God, I mean,
Jeez, look at. I mean,
Have you ever
even-
seen Jamiroquai? He had what was his? Was it an Enzo or his LaFerrari? He had painted like this ridiculous bright green,
yeah.
and then he had all of the luggage was matching leather to the. It was absurd.
God, that guy's got taste.
Yeah, he does. He
I
does.
think it was a LaFerrari.
Yeah, he's got taste. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of that. You know, it's funny we finally stepped into cars that are in my realm. 2025 Bentley Continental GT. Think about, I mean, walking out to start that thing every morning, just getting in, just be like,
Unreal.
"Oh."
I mean, I've done a few Bentleys.
Yeah.
And out of any car that I've ever fixed, I can say there where you can see the money. Like
like the quality.
There's
quality.
actual,
There's
yeah.
like you take apart cars sometimes and you're like, oh, all right, this is where they're skimping.
yeah.
But like, I think we did a Mulsanne once. Like it's a limo. It's huge. So we took the bumper off it, and to get the bumper off, we had like half the trunk out of this thing, and like every inch of seam sealer in that trunk, which is like typically as soon as paint goes away, so does like caring.
yeah.
Every piece of seam seal was gorgeous. Everything was
Oh my
like
God.
everything that was covered up could have very well been visible, and you would have been absolutely fine with that.
Yeah.
Like no part of that car left you wanting for anything. But I mean, if you're paying house money for a car,
Yeah.
It
You're
should.
paying, $350,000 for a car.
yeah.
It's got to show up being right.
I
That
mean-
was the one. I sent you a picture. It was a few years ago.
Yeah.
We had the wheels off of it. And they're like, it's just a Mulsanne, not just a Mulsanne, but it's like, it's not their fast car.
Yeah.
And I had an Arizona iced tea can next to the brake rotor, and it was like, I might as well have been holding a Dixie cup next to it.
Yeah, one of those like 8-ounce stubby cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really into spending the money, then we can hit you with another bit of news here.
Nick Pizarro in the chat said it looks like its own trunk can't catch up with it. That's actually really good.
It's just the trailer.
The
The
new Bugatti.
new Bugatti,
Yeah.
the Tourbillon. I'm probably
Tourbillon.
Tourbillon.
Yeah.
Di-
It's
disgracing that.
like a watch. Like movement.
Yeah, it's absurd. We can get into. I mean, we'll just kind of take it all in for the moment, but roughly the same layout. You can tell it's definitely a Bugatti.
Well, the front end is it.
Sharp.
The front end is it.
It's aggressive. It is very aggressive in all the right ways. The rear, oh man, even the side profile. The rear,
Find me a bad look of that car. It doesn't exist. That is a wild looking car. I get it.
there we go.
I get it.
That right there.
I get it.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
A lot of the hypercars or the Paganis and all that stuff, like,
Yeah.
they're cool to look at, but, like, I don't know. But, like, Bugatti has always been just, like, at the end of the day, it's a Volkswagen. Like,
right.
it
that's
might break and it might cost you $750,000 to fix whatever just broke. but,
definitely
like,
going to need timing chains at some point.
for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And who knows where they are?
Oh
Right,
my
right.
God!
Yeah,
What
good.
color is that? Blue? Is that
That's
green?
blue.
That's blue. That's almost a sea foam, but it's definitely blue. I mean, just look at this phallic alien.
I'm trying to retrim the entire inside of the Honda in that.
Tonight.
But we
I
couldn't
don't know
afford
if this one does it, but was it the Chiron, the last one? They used to call that,
the Cascade.
yeah, and then it would go up between the seats and then through the roof. It would follow the roof line inside, and I don't know if it was factory or an option, but it lit up.
Oh wow.
It was gorgeous.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there
it
it is.
does.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It continues.
Wow. That is a wild detail I never knew existed. Oh, and there's controls up there too. I wonder if that's like HVAC, if that's what is even up there? Look
I
at
don't know,
that
because on
seat.
the last gen, all those knobs were like 2 or 3 functions each. Like you'd switch them.
Yeah.
Because their whole thing is like they don't want to put any like actual numbers or writing on it because they don't want it to date it.
Yeah.
So like you see like an old school analog clock, they don't want that in the car. So
Right.
they change. I don't.
Or have a function that 50 years from now
it's
is just
obsolete,
irrelevant.
Yeah, but
Bluetooth. It's my Bluetooth
I don't know a
button.
ton about them. I've seen a little bit, but like, it's just gorgeous.
I was roped in when I got to see one like very up close and personal. When Josh and I went to the New York Auto Show, and they had
The Chiron. They had a couple of them.
They
but
had
the
a
Chiron
Chiron,
was
and then they had the Jesco was there, and I mean there was no ropes or anything. You couldn't get it. You couldn't get inside of them, but the doors were open and everything. And seeing like that in person, you're like, I mean, I
It's a
can't hate it.
statement.
Yeah. It's a piece.
right. It really is luxury timepiece levels of car building. Everything is touched, manipulated, done to the nth degree.
Yeah, everything's just perfect. And the crazy thing
Wow.
is like they go fast. So it not only is it looks really cool, it also goes like hell.
Potentially 300 miles an hour.
Yeah. You think this baby's supposed to do 300?
No, I'm just saying like
Did that say stance works?
they did.
No, there was like a sketch. It had to have said something else.
I can get back to it somehow.
Yeah, it was where all the
A ways
sketches
away.
were.
No, not too far away.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it said that.
Mike Burrows.
I'm
He
gonna-
had,
yeah, he drew it up.
He was in on the design.
He sketched it up for everyone. One more? 2 more? No, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Stance.
Top left.
Stance Works
Stance
Coke bottle.
Works Coke bottle?
What is stance? The key.
Oh, this right here, this design.
The stance. The key is to getting the stance of the car right is to emphasize the wheels. This can be done enough. Is that like Mike's definition?
I don't know. If not, he better hit them with that cease and desist.
Yo!
Get at him, Bugatti.
It can
Come
also
on, man.
go back. It can also be improved by what we call the Coke bottle effect. Pulling in the width of the body in between the wheels helps create the illusion of a wider rear track. Okay, it's definitely not his.
I mean, they're just out there, pulling from StanceWorks. They're naming Coca-Cola in their bottle.
Yeah.
Bugatti.
Wow.
We got to get those deep pockets though.
Loose.
I don't think they're too worried about it.
Yeah, they probably do something.
How much
Do
of the
something.
name? Say
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's a wild car. What kind of bird is that, Jake?
It's looking like a hawk.
That's looking like a hawk.
I don't know.
I would have thought that's
I'm
a
not a
pigeon.
bird guy.
You're not a bird. You knew what kind of bird it was at the racetrack.
What bird was that?
The birds that there were rocks around that said "Don't touch."
Oh, it was a sandpiper. I mean, I've been to the beach.
Oh yeah,
I know
those.
Yeah.
I got chased by a
Dude,
group of those the other
everything to
day.
me just looks like a pigeon.
I saw that bald eagle the other day. That was
That's
something
true.
else.
Steady flight, nosedive. It's just
That's a falcon.
the Falcon. You actually got it.
It's the peregrine, my dude.
That's right. No, Wes is the bird guy.
Wes is a bird guy. Yeah.
Wes is the
Big
bird guy. Yes, that's right.
Here we go. The Falcon. Upon dive, the Falcon completely folds its wings against its body to reduce its frontal area. Through this, it can exceed speeds beyond 300 kph, making it the fastest animal on the planet.
It's literally how I dive in bed at night.
Like, just like a quick story on. They live around here.
Really?
They're insane. I was driving home maybe a month ago, and I'm sitting at this random 4-way intersection by my house, and I just see like someone blew up a pillow, and I look over, and a peregrine falcon had dusted whatever bird was on the ground. And then it, like, as I'm looking at it in awe, it just took off with its lifeless body. and
Oh
its
my
tail. It's
God.
like- because that's how they catch stuff. They dive bomb them.
Yeah.
But I mean, he hit that thing.
with some force.
Yeah, he had some force behind him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's a lot going on with this car.
Yeah, I'm sure more and more will come out about this, and we'll
I-
cover it to a certain
I'm waiting for the
extent.
top speed
Care for
runs.
those doors.
You don't?
That's the only part I don't really love.
Oh, how they open?
Yeah,
You mean the Falcon doors?
yeah. Just make a regular door.
Right, just get the fucking
It
door.
worked on
open.
the other two.
Yeah. Oh man, but the back, the shot from behind with the doors open,
That does look cool.
that's
Yeah.
You know, when you get somewhere in that car, you park with the doors open.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's got to be a safety, but the only thing I've seen with those is they're all electric. Like, there's no mechanical.
Oh, the doors.
Oh, sort of
so
like the
you know, at some point, someone's getting trapped in one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
sort of like the new C8 Corvette.
You have to cut them out.
KD runs into that all the time. They're electric, so you like if you lock the keys in or just something stupid, you have to like pull levers like you're a fucking steam pipe operator, of levers and things you have to pull and then go in from the rear deck lid to
Oh,
get
man.
shit open. So I'd imagine it's similar.
We haven't dealt with that. I've done a lot of C8s randomly, but it is. Oh, I wonder if that's the reason why every time we get one, they're like, key stays on the hood. If the key's not in your pocket, the key stays on the car, not in the car.
Yep, I wouldn't doubt
Oh,
it.
that's definitely why.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to smash a window to get in.
Let's see. Combined with the, where is it? Let's see. Talking about hybrid assistance, front e-axle carries 2 electric motors with a third motor positioned at the back to help spin the rear wheels. A 25 kWh centrally mounted battery pack supplies power, adding 800 horsepower into the mix. Combined with its, where is it?
1,000.
V16 powertrain, it makes 1,800 horsepower. Yeah. Says it'll do 0 to 62 in
Yep.
just 2.0 seconds. 124 miles an hour reached in 5 seconds. 186 mile an hour arrives in a mere 10 seconds. Top speed of 236 happens in less than 25 seconds.
They're V16s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing revs to 9,500 RPM?
Absurd.
What does it sound like? When do we get to hear one? I want to hear one on limiter, just wide open.
It also comes with a speed key. When the speed key is activated, the tourbillon keeps its ginormous rear wing hunkered down while the speed climbs all the way up to 276.
That's just a little baggie of some yay. You put in your pocket.
Right, it comes with.
It helps you push that extra 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Let me bump this real quick because
Yeah.
we're seeing
A little bit of
276.
Colombian yelling powder.
Yeah. Just let her eat.
You actually have to dip a little into the car as well, just because.
Throw a little in the vent.
That's exactly. Come on, big girl, let's go. Oh my God, 1,800 horsepower. So for so for everything I hate about the big EV Hummer and like size
When
wise,
it's on the Bugatti, it's all
this
that's it.
makes up like 1,800 horsepower. Like, oh, you know that needs that. That
Josh
needs
is
that.
like,
for
you know
sure.
what? This makes
This
sense.
is-
I can really get behind
This
this.
is right. This is one I can support for sure. Oh boy, what a flagship! 8.3 liter. My God,
8.3 revs to 9,500.
Kazi helped develop.
Wow.
I mean, it makes 1,000 horsepower without any turbochargers.
Christ. Well, hey, you know what? I don't think I'd ever see one in person. Maybe in a museum one day.
No, this one we'll see. We'll see some of these because it'll be like the
Where?
Chiron if we go to a big show or New York. It's not.
Oh,
yeah,
Outside the
yeah.
show, have you ever seen a Bugatti?
Not on the road. No, I
Yeah.
cannot.
One time
recall.
in Boston.
Really?
Oh, I nearly fell over.
Yeah.
Like, right off of Newbury Street. Whatever the next big main
Yeah.
street is, in between the Prudential or whatever. Walking down the street, nearly fell over my own feet trying to turn around and make sure I saw what I saw. It was like
black and white?
it was like ivoryish.
Oh, different car.
It was ivory, yeah. Yeah, I almost fell over. I was like, oh, I couldn't even get the words out. Yeah, I mean, you see a bunch of weird stuff all the time, like down in Boston, people driving around, like cool stuff. But, I mean, a Bugatti?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's different.
That's, yeah. Especially, like, in the city. Like, why? What are you doing?
Right. What
What are you doing?
Yeah.
see a Bugatti with those fucking front and rear bumper covers for when they park too close.
Yeah, what are we
The
doing?
ding prevention.
Yeah, a Bugatti like in downtown Boston's like a wild choice.
Yeah.
The roads are shit. Where are you gonna park it? Like,
Right. We can't see a fucking thing.
Yeah. I mean, people are just dive bombing in like
Doing whatever they
Kias
want.
with no insurance.
That's it for news as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if you got anything
No.
else. Okay, we can talk
No.
to Jake and find out exactly what's going on in his world. Paint Man.
Yes, sir.
Let's start at the beginning. What got you into painting vehicles?
My dad.
Okay. Oh,
So-
can we shout his Instagram?
If you can remember it.
Big body Mike.
Big body Mike. We got to get him to change it.
Yeah.
And we got to get him. I don't know if we can shoot him some DMs, something. I was telling Corey this. He doesn't want to post stuff that he thinks people don't like. And I've told him people are interested in anything you do. I don't care if
100%.
it's changing a fender and a
Yeah.
headlight or just ripping these cars apart on these frame machines like he seems to do all the time.
He's constantly pulling apart balled up aluminum.
It's insane.
It's
So, like, I grew up with that.
Yeah.
And, like, I think seeing that from such a young age, my dad's always, basically until I was in my early 20s, he ran a body shop.
Okay.
Like, not manager. We didn't own it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, seeing him do that all the time while also restoring cars, I was like, oh, like, I'm going to be a body man. But then as I started to do body work, I was like, I hate body work.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but then I found out that I loved painting. Like, the first time I saw someone paint, I was like, that looks really cool. I want to get into that.
Yep.
So luckily, because of who he was and because of who I was his kid, I was able to narrow that down really quickly and be like, oh, if this is what you want to do, I'm still going to teach you how to do body work, but we can focus on painting.
Yep.
So, like, I went to a trade school for high school and, like, took the auto body course, the whole nine. And, like, even the rule with my teacher in school was you got to learn how to fix it. Then we can deep dive into painting.
Right, because that ultimately will give you a better foundation to build off of, I imagine.
Paint on top of crap is just shiny crap.
Yeah.
Like, we say it all the time at work. Like,
Yep.
You give me shit, you get back shiny shit.
Yep.
Prep is everything.
Yep.
But that's how it started. It was pretty much that simple. And then I graduated high school, and he was like, okay, you're the shop's painter now. It was kind of just like trial by fire.
How many, at first, when you first got into it, how many vehicles were you painting a day?
Less than one.
Okay.
Thinking back at what I was doing at that point at like 18,
Yep.
like, I don't know. I didn't know my ass from my elbow.
Yep. Yep.
Like, I could do, say, 3 jobs that would take me a day and a half to do at that point. But you have to learn by doing.
Right. There's
There's
no
other way to do it.
Yeah. It's sort of, the jobs that say, oh, we want fresh young talent, but we need somebody with 10 years experience.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's not a
how does
thing.
that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's trial and error along with fresh young talent.
Yes.
You felt like you got a hang of it pretty quick?
I
Or
think so.
Relatively quick.
Relatively quick. Yeah. Setting up a gun and learning like the ins and out of, like, at the end of the day, you're almost kind of like a chemist too. Like, you need to figure out how these chemicals work
Yep.
to use them correctly. So, like, that part takes a while to learn. And then you also figure out pretty quickly that, like, in the summertime, it's pretty hard to paint.
Yep.
But in the wintertime, if the heat in your booth breaks, it's pretty hard to paint.
Right. So there's a lot of,
There's a lot of things going on.
to your point about a chemist, 100%, because like,
Yeah, you're constantly fiddling with stuff like that to adjust for the situation.
do you check temperature of vehicle? Like, do you hit the vehicle with a gun?
Not really. 'Cause
Okay.
The way a downdraft booth works,
Okay.
it's kind of always going to be ambient temp
Okay.
because it's flowing down.
Yep.
But in the wintertime, you set it to whatever temp you want, and the ambient temp will be
Relatively.
around there. But
Yeah. Okay.
But there is a part, like our booths, you can go in, put a couple coats of paint on, and then go in and you can set it to go to bake for, say, 5-10 minutes just to flash the paint,
Yep.
to dry it before you clear it. If you flash it and you run in there as soon as that temp drops and you go to clear it, that's a problem. Like, because your metal temp is now 145.
Yeah.
And
Right,
the second
right.
that clear hits that, it's going to lock up. So you learn pretty quick to let that metal come down to temp.
Right. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It just there is a good amount of standing around waiting for paint to dry.
I literally get paid to watch paint dry. Like, that is my job.
Because realistically, you know, say even the biggest bodies, or you get a fucking big body bends in there, right?
Yeah.
How long does it take to lay down a coat? 5 minutes? 8 minutes?
It's tough to say. It depends on the paint too.
Okay.
So like there's single stage, which is base coat and clear coat mixed essentially.
Yep.
Do 2-3 coats of that, you're in and out, you're done. Well, not in, I shouldn't say that. One coat, let it flash, 5-10 minutes, go back in, and then that's that. You're done. Depending on color with solvent-based paint, you could go in there and it could take you 5 minutes to paint the side of a car for one coat, but you might need 4 coats of it.
Okay.
I spray waterborne paint. We go in there and it's a coat and a half and it's right on top of each other. Like, I could paint an overall done 10-15 minutes. Like, base coat, the car is the color it needs to be, and I can walk out of the booth in 10 minutes.
Okay.
10-15.
Yeah.
So like you can paint a bumper 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Flash it, go in there, clear it in another 5 minutes.
And your paint prep, how much time do you typically?
That's all the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
it's-
was curious of,
yeah.
is just
Painting is a very small portion of actually being a painter.
there's so much more
It's
to it,
everything
right?
else, yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many different paints that I know nothing about the paint. You mean what, get the shit at, like, you know, the art store and fucking splash it on? But no, there's so many different, because there's hardeners as well, right? And that's not even, besides, like, you know, midnight purple, what's one of the craziest colors you've sprayed?
I did, and I meant to look it up before I came here. It was, maybe Corey can look it up or somebody. It was a Nissan GTR that was a silver, and it was a special option silver. And what was weird about it was, so normally when you see the metallic in paint, it's like a square, and it's usually got a coating on it so that it doesn't, you know, oxidize inside of the paint.
Okay.
And
yeah.
the whole idea with painting is when you see metallic in a car, you want it to stand up a certain way. And there's different shapes and sizes, and that depends on what you want. This had circles. And the idea with this paint was they wanted the color to look like tinfoil. So you were spraying a metallic that you wanted to lay completely flat.
Yep.
And by nature, metallic wants to lay up, it wants to stand up. So like normally, if you're painting a car, if it's sealer, primer, whatever it is, 500 grit, blend panels, 1,000 grit. And like on 500, you can paint any color you want over that. You're typically not going to see a sand scratch. So when we repaired this car, this was the process from the paint manufacturer. They did the mud work. I primed it. I blocked it. I prepped this. I did a fender on it. I blocked it, prepped the whole fender, went in the booth, clear coated the whole thing. No base coat. Baked it, pulled it out. 1,500, the whole thing, like I was going to buff it. And then I went in and I put my base coat over the 1,500, and then I let that dry and cleared it. Because any scratch deeper than 1,500,
Was
those
visible.
tiny little circles would get into the sand scratches and stand up, and it wouldn't be flat. It would literally, like, you would get patches where it was like it almost looked like somebody would take a Scotch-Brite pad to like stainless.
Almost like a right. So like a scuffed section
So it
of
had
it
to
just
be-
wouldn't reflect to that same manner.
It needed to be flawless before you could even start. It was the hardest thing I've ever painted in my life.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How
They're
many?
called Super Silver.
Super silver. I
Yeah.
thought it was liquid silver, super silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Liquid silver is a Mazda, which is also an absolute nightmare to paint. Which
Yeah,
is
Super
just gray.
Silver
Yeah.
it's apparently a 3,000. Well, at the time was a $3,000 option. Who knows what it is now with the price of those cars?
Yeah. It started off as a repair on the fender, and then I ended up painting a lot of that car. Because then
Just
it
to try
turned
and
out,
get it to.
the first time I painted it, it came out really good.
Mhm.
And then I think in hindsight, looking back, the car had been ceramic coated, and there was a tiny little spot at the bottom of the fender that I didn't notice when I was doing it. And it went a little, it almost looked like a sponge. The
Mhm.
paint didn't want to settle on it. So then I'm redoing that. The second time I painted this car, unbeknownst to me, that tint is so rare and it's only for that color. The tint I had on my benches was bad.
Oh,
The second time I painted it, it looked fine in the booth. I unmask it and it's like 10 shades darker than the rest of the car. And I'm like, this is literally the same paint I used yesterday.
yeah.
So then the paint company had to come down. They're running numbers, batch numbers, find out it's bad. And I
Yeah.
painted it. It was horrendous.
I remember you texted me about it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have pictures of it on my phone. That was nuts.
How long was that endeavor?
That ended up dragging out for a long time.
Yeah, just
That
because
was-
of all the.
That was bad. And then from what I got told, there's like a forum that like only paint reps can get into.
Yep.
And my paint rep was in that, and they were like, there's no blending that color. Like, if you get anything wrong on your car, you paint the whole side of it. You don't try to blend it. And the guy's like, no, we're blending this.
Yep.
And it ended up leaving, but that was the hardest. I lost sleep over that car.
Right. Just trying to figure out what the hell is
yeah.
causing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because it's completely abnormal in as far as standard, procedures.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the liquid silver I was talking about with Mazda, which is just like a charcoal, that color has really, really, really fine metallic in it.
It's almost like a pearlish, right? Is that the one I'm
Kinda.
thinking of? Unless I'm just thinking of like Audi's gray.
And for that one, they want you to paint, like say you primed the beginning of a fender. They want you to paint it black and then clear it and then sand that and then just like 1500
Yep.
and then spray the silver over the black because the silver is so fine it doesn't cover. You have to have a black undercoat.
Just to give it a
Just
backing.
so you're painting this car twice
Right.
just to get it the right color.
And the black is an actual black. It's not black like primer.
Nope, it's actual black base coat. They want you to paint it black,
Wow.
clear it, sand the clear you just put on it, and base right over it.
How are manufacturers with providing that information?
Very tough.
Okay. Is it because they want to
It's
keep
not
it
even manufacturer.
Okay.
What happens is paint manufacturers go to the ports where the cars come in, and they're looking at all of these cars and coming up with like formulas for them. Now they're looking at them and being like, "Oh, this is a new color.
Yep.
Let's figure this out."
Okay.
And because they're getting so many at the port, you can also figure out different variants of the same colors.
Right.
It's
They
like-
see all the, every,
Yeah.
I don't know, canary yellow is going to
Right.
show up at the same time and go, oh, this can vary from A to B shade.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of my job is finding the right version of a very mundane color.
Right. Because there could be,
Yeah. They're like the charcoal that they paint every single Toyota.
Mhm.
The code
Yep.
is 1G3. That's like the hardest color to paint.
because there's so many
almost
different
brought it with me.
variations.
I think I have like 20 something chips
Yep.
of just that color. And then there's probably another 15 variants in the computer. And it could be any one of them. And then sometimes you go through all of them and none of them match.
What is causing those variants? Just who determines that?
Different batches,
Okay.
different plants they're painted at.
Right. Just different, just
It could be a different day.
manufacturing.
It could be one day they're painting with Axalta paint and the next day they're painting with PPG.
Right.
It's
Just a
'cause they're
subtle
also going
difference.
by cost.
Yep.
Like whatever's going to be cheapest, they're going to switch to that.
Right.
So like that's a big part of my job is just trying to figure out which variant of any particular color I'm going to spray.
And relatively speaking, with these large, not commuter cars, but cars that are manufactured in the thousands or more than hundreds of thousands of times, like you understand, well, it's not perfect, but you understand why they would go, oh, I want to save some money on the paint
Right.
from this
It's a
manufacturer and
massive
just
cost for
change it. They
manufacturing.
never have to announce anything. It's just still the same color.
Yeah.
But as a painter, it's your problem.
It's a problem. Yeah. You deal with that all day long.
What do you do about mixing or blending plastics and metals? What can you do?
Like painting them or
Just overall that color, because one of the biggest complaints we always hear, and we know it from like Volkswagen stuff, but then it translates to damn near everything. What is it? Like Ginster yellow. Oh yeah, cool. The fenders and the hood look great, but the bumper is a different shade. But because it's two different materials, matching it's difficult.
Yeah, there are some theories on this. Factory cars that you see with the bumpers not matching is because the bumpers are painted somewhere else.
Okay.
They're not painted on the car.
Mm.
So like they're just pulling the same color.
Yep.
The car goes to the end, say it's gray. They're finding the gray bumpers and they're putting them on. That the bumper could have gotten painted 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
and then just
And
on a
it's
shelf.
Just put on a shelf.
Different
pop it
part
on.
of the factory or whatever.
Doesn't matter as long as it's pretty close.
Yep.
It goes on.
Yeah, because the front bumper of the Tesla, you can tell is a different shade.
Yeah.
Than the rear bumper. I mean, I can't see it, but that doesn't say much. But the front bumper, I can see, which means like, oh, it must be like,
Yeah.
pretty significant.
Yeah. But as far as like painting, it can, because plastic and metal don't heat up the same ways, and like it can have slight variances.
Yep.
A lot of times what you're seeing is painting a car and painting a bumper are just different. Like painting a fender sideways, like horizontal going up, you're not worried about trying to get deep into a cove of a bumper. You're not, like, a bumper is on a stand and you're bending and going crazy. And
All sorts of different angles.
you can just not put enough paint on it, thinking you put enough paint on
Yeah.
it, and then
Yep.
put it on the car and be like, well, that's off. Believe me, it happens all the time.
Right,
Like,
right.
So a lot of times it's not necessarily plastic. It's just,
The process.
Whatever the method.
and a
yeah.
lot of it also is where the bumpers sit on a car. It's also light. Like you're staring at a car, you're looking at it basically belt line down. The light is hitting a bumper different than it's hitting the fender.
Mm.
So a lot of times if you're like, wow, that color's bad, but you just turned and dropped your head 6 inches.
Right. You're never looking at it from the
It
same.
might look perfectly fine.
Yep.
But I can tell you that excuse doesn't work when you're painting cars.
Yeah.
'Cause I have like a special flashlight essentially, and it's inside light and outside light, and it's 3 different strengths of each one. And I can be in the booth with the bumper, like snap a bumper on a car real quick and go from quarter panel to bumper and be like, man, that's the one. Like, this color is great.
Yep.
Clear it. Guy puts it on the car, sticks it out in the sun. It's black and white. And you're like, I checked this, but like I'm on my hands and knees checking it.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're standing next to it, it's different.
Just reality.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
The sun doesn't lie.
sun don't lie.
Yeah.
It always looks better. That'll look better outside.
Man, it's like gas station lighting.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Just, oh, look at that.
I don't know what kind of lights they put in a gas station.
Just brings out the
but
best.
everybody's got a PVW car when you're at a gas station. For sure. Yeah.
It's all the time. So let's kind of take a step back. You worked at a body shop as a painter pretty much directly out of high school.
Yep.
How long was that for?
till I was about 20. I think they asked me to stop coming to work. My dad left, and then pretty soon after that, they decided that I shouldn't work there either.
Okay.
And then after that is when I worked on fire trucks and ambulances, emergency vehicles. I was a painter and a bodyman there.
Okay.
There were 3 of us, and that was a trip.
It seems like the characters in this industry.
You want to talk about character? Like, bodymen and painters are a strange breed.
Yeah.
You get dudes that do that while on emergency vehicles, it's like, woof. Like, you dudes are weirder than weird. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. My back couldn't take doing that. That is bull work. Like, to be 12 feet up on a ladder in a paint suit connected to 2 hoses trying to paint the side of this, it's brutal. It's like I'm trying to get the edge of this truck painted, and I could also just fall straight to my face. Or I've also slipped going up the ladder and just went right into wet paint. Like,
Oh, God, dude.
That's brutal.
Fun fact I learned today: falls from 11 feet or above, 50% fatal.
What?
I
11?
wasn't there, but we had a dude walk all the way up the back of a truck, and when he got to the top, he either passed out or got dizzy and went straight back and landed on his head. He lived.
Oh my God.
But I got to tell you, when an ambulance pulls into a shop that only fixes ambulances, no one bats an eye. The homie was bleeding out on the floor.
Oh
We were
my
like,
God.
who's driving that truck today?
what are we doing to that thing?
Well, you don't realize how tall they are, and we had a dude stand on one and walk right into a ceiling fan and just knock him right out.
God, dude.
It took one directly to the forehead.
Jesus.
That's the place I went to drop the wheels off, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's where I met my boy Robbie.
Yeah.
Shout
Jay-
out Just Coolin'.
I think I told Josh about the bowling. I was like, I know
Oh,
this kid
my
who bowls
guy's
like
nice.
300s consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
both his kids are very nice. Too.
yeah. So I needed my TSWs for the Jetta way back in the day. Needed those painted, so I
Yeah.
dropped them by the ambulance
The
shop.
boys over there.
The boys spritzed them white on them.
Yeah.
So being in
That place was like our own little Candyland. Like, we had it so good. And he works there again, too.
Oh, really?
I actually stopped by there the other day. It was so strange pulling up. Because, like, that's like, when I started there, I had the Jetta.
Yeah.
And then I went, like, all the stupid cars that I had. And then I was in the Rabbit, and I pulled in, and the guy that was my boss, he's like, can you just drive something normal for once?
So a place like that, I mean, red, white,
Red, white,
black, right?
white,
For
black,
certain municipalities, I'd imagine.
that weird green-ish. It's like a yellow-green.
Okay. Yep.
Milford, Mass has like a goldenrod. It's like basically the color of that Wawa can.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Right. So it's not.
There's
yeah.
not a lot of it, and they're almost all the same. So it was a dealership too. So like, if it was red, we knew what red it was. If it
Yeah.
was white, we knew what white it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a lot of variance there.
Like,
Not a lot of inventory on hand either.
It was strange. What was weird about that is the trucks were built in Florida, driven up here, and then they would build them to spec, like all the cabinets and stuff.
Wow.
built to suit.
Built to suit. So it would come with like a bare bones truck, like not even the piping for all the inlets and outlets on the side of the truck. Like the guys would make the manifolds for all that stuff too. It was wild.
Oh, wow.
There wasn't a tool in that shop that like they didn't have.
Yep.
It was crazy.
Just, yeah, cover anything possible.
Anything you needed. Like you need to bend a sheet of like 3/4 inch thick aluminum. Like we got you.
What is the cost on one of these things?
That's what I was,
Crazy. I want to say a pumper, like a small one, started at like $5 back then.
Jesus.
They had one called a Bronto, which is short of Brontosaurus. And it was like the crazy long ladder trucks. And that ladder could stand up vertically and then the bucket could pivot down. So the head looked like if you saw it, you'd be like, that's a Brontosaurus. And it could spin 360. And I want to say those were like $2 or $3 million. They were something absurd.
God.
Yeah. Middleborough has one, maybe? I forget. We did, for that dealer, we did like the whole northeast until like Jersey, I think, end of Connecticut.
Yeah.
So like you'd see some crazy stuff.
yeah.
I only saw it only came in once. I think they called it a tiller where the dude drives in the back of the truck.
The old school
That's
style.
wild.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
You gotta steer it the wrong way.
Oh, so you kind of like, it's like a
Counter-
a boat.
You
It's
gotta
kind of like backing up a
countersteer it,
boat
yeah.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was wild.
That's, oh my God, they're so,
What was cool about that
Fascinating
is we had this
vehicle.
giant. Our shop was like shaped like an L. I think it was 6 bays. I mean, they're enormous as you can.
I was just saying, it had to
imagine.
be a huge shop, right?
But because that rear end, you could sort of put it however you want. They drove the truck straight into the first bay and pivoted it, and they parked that truck the long way across like 6 bays. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Let me just tuck her in over here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's wild.
like our booth had a giant hole in the
That's
top.
how the hell do you even,
The booth was enormous. We could get a ladder truck in it, and it had like a cat flap at the top, and we'd open it so the ladder could poke through the booth. It was insanity.
dude? So, obviously, new ones. What if somebody were to buy a new one? Does it come up in all primer or?
No, they're painted.
Okay, they are
they're all
painted.
painted,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're basically just handling repair and
Repair,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Okay, so how often do they have a service life? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so
And then so they'll service them for a long time, depending on the town. Some towns, if you got a lot of budget,
Yeah.
they buy trucks fairly often. We also do restorations too.
okay,
So I see them because I drive by there all the time. Like Foxborough has all white trucks.
yep.
A couple of those we restored. They're actually older trucks and we redid them.
Which those are the ones you'd see at like a parade or
Yep.
for special events or
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can estimate how much paint gallon wise goes onto a fire truck?
Oh, it's gallons. It's a lot of gallons. I think it was 4. I think if we would do an overall, it was 4.
Wow.
Yeah, because we would do, I think pretty standard is like 18 small doors off the back, 4 cab doors, and that would be an entire booth worth, and that's at least a gallon, if not more.
Just for the doors.
And then you'd go and do the truck, and that would be another gallon or 2. And if it was two-tone, there's some variant in that. But
Right.
Also, red doesn't cover very well, so you got, and neither does white. So
Just trying to match it as
If it's an overall, I'm gonna go put 5 coats of red on. the truck's gonna have
Just
5 coats.
lay it on
Yeah.
thick. Is there was there an estimated man hour time for a truck? Obviously the jobs vary, but
They vary, but yeah, it was a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I wish I knew what they would put in for a restoration, but they were there for like 5-6 months.
Okay.
We'd strip them to bare aluminum, like they're getting new.
Oh my god!
Like-
I would love to see a bare aluminum fire truck.
They look
dude.
really cool.
That's like
They look cool.
like all right, I get that.
Yeah. But they'd strip them like besides drivetrain, and sometimes they'd rebuild some of that stuff and like
Yeah.
replacing and rebuilding everything. Like no stone. Like we'd put them up on jack stands and we'd power wash and undercoat the bottoms of these things. Like they got full rip and
Really bring it back to
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
I'm guessing they were like couple 6-figure deep
Yep.
restoration bills for these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the ambulances overall? Those,
Dude, fuck those things. I hated ambulances. Dude, like EMTs are like nonchalant about leaving those dirty. It's like a rolling like cesspool.
Oh, right,
You can
right.
think about like what goes on in the back.
The worst
Yeah.
of the worst that you can do.
Literally,
with,
the worst situations are happening in the back of the
Yeah.
And for the most part, they came in clean, but like
Yeah.
you know what happens back there.
Yeah.
And they're like, fire trucks are built and like everything's huge and like they're built like tractors basically.
Yeah.
It's easy
Yeah.
to come apart. Everything's very cut and dry.
yeah, big bolts and just yeah.
Ambulances are little fiddly bolts and like stainless strips, and they're a nightmare. They're the worst.
The only thing I know about ambulances is they have the ground chains that hang
Oh yeah,
because of the nitrogen
yeah.
inside.
And if those
whatnot.
aren't put on right, they beat the living piss out of the side of the truck, and you have to fix it.
I'm gonna look for
I
that
remember the
now.
first time I saw it, it was like, what happened? How does this even happen?
Fucking
Yeah, they got stuck and those chains came out and they just slapped the side of this truck
Oh my
until they
God.
got it moving. Like,
dude, just oh my god.
imagine the racket that would make.
That's the thing is like, does nobody notice this? Does nobody?
I think when a fire truck is stuck, everyone's just in awe.
So you worked there for a while.
5 years.
Okay.
Is this the place you painted the Harlequin?
No, that was with my dad at the first
Oh,
place.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
was
don't think.
kind of the straw that broke the camel's back with the
When
new owners,
when they
as it were.
asked you to,
They weren't stoked in the multicolored car.
No, the thing with that is the paint manufacturer we were using their kind of rule of thumb is if you buy their paint, they'll give you a free paint job a year.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. But like I'd roll the car in one day and like the bumpers were 2 different colors one day. And
Yeah.
like the new owner's looking at it, he's like, what is that about? Like, and the next like 2 weeks go by and the fenders are yellow.
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on here? There's no repair order. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So then like I had to like, it was an issue.
Yeah.
I finished it and it was.
Oh, you did finish
Yeah, I
it.
finished it.
I think that car's been passed around. I don't wonder if it's still up in Maine for sale.
It's not, and I found it. I wanted to buy it. I had just bought in the house I'm in now, and I like, there's no way. I
Yeah.
do want like $500 for it. I didn't have a place to put it.
Yeah, you didn't want
Engine
too much,
was
but it
blown,
also
the tranny was blown. It had been crashed
Yeah.
at least twice.
it looked.
It looked
It was a
rough.
sad state.
It was sad.
It's one of these things
When
where
I-
it's.
when I first saw it, I was really hoping that it was just terrible, but the drivetrain was good because I would have swapped it. Like, how cool would it have been to have that drivetrain in the Rabbit?
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
The car was looking pretty. I think
For
it was
those-
I think it was Pottle who found it actually.
Yeah,
I
it was
vaguely
in,
remember.
Portland.
Yeah.
And I think it was Pottle who found it.
For
Yeah.
those curious, it was Mark IV Jetta,
Mark IV GLI, yeah,
painted like a Harlequin.
painted with Mark IV colors.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Much
it
to,
was like
literally everyone's chagrin.
Yeah, it was. It was like a super creative thing because it wasn't like Harlequin colors.
Right.
It was,
just-
but it wasn't.
Yeah, so I did Imola yellow,
Yep.
T red, DBP, and Rave green.
Oh wow. Yeah.
They were all, which was also weird because Harlequins are all solid colors, so I had a mix of
Solid
A
and
metallic.
Yeah.
What was the? Did you give it a base color like most
So it was
Harlequins?
a pistachio base. If you were
Okay.
going for that. Yeah. Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, it was.
I did that and like immediately regretted it.
Really?
I love that car. For,
dude,
like, what it was.
There's
but,
nothing that put a smile on my face more than seeing that thing.
It was like, I mean, I was also like 20, so like I wanted the smoke from everyone. And people like all the old school VW kids were like, "You're such an asshole," and I was like, "Fuck you and everything you stand for." And now I look back and I'm like, I suck. Like,
Phil Cannon in the chat. Biggest blunder Jake ever did was not buying the Harlequin back. This was also back in the day before rapping, mind you. Kid showed up every week to the Applebee's meet with a new piece painted.
Yeah.
for sure.
And he also says, my dad still knows Jake as the kid with the clown car.
For sure. Oh, just a quick aside. Why does Phil look like he's about to sell me a house in that
Dude,
picture?
yeah. Phil's realty
I
photo
was
for
just saying-
YouTube.
Realtor Phil.
Yeah,
Like,
realtor
yeah.
Phil. Yeah, it's
It was-
wild.
It was cool. I had it, it was that way for like 2.5 years.
Yeah,
And then I traded it. Yeah, get rid of it.
you traded into a dealership, right?
Yeah,
What did they say?
not a lot. They were not impressed. The only thing with that is
We're
I had.
not impressed.
They were not impressed.
They didn't add anything on top, you know?
No, the multicolored car without a radio on C's coils
Yeah,
with a bad axle. I forget what else was wrong with it. That car was bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a great look for me, but I had it long enough that I had, even at their ridiculous offer, it's
Yeah.
still, I was like, I almost broke even, and I was trying to buy, I did buy an SRT4,
Yeah.
which is also not easy for them to sell because
Yeah.
everyone who wants to buy one of those cars has a 300 credit score. And I had good credit, so
Yeah.
they couldn't get that car off the lot fast enough.
They were like, please.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, SRT4 is like the original Charger.
Yeah. And
100%,
True
yes.
SRT4 style, I picked it up in December and I immediately boiled the tires for 3 gears leaving the deal. I remember seeing the salesman throwing his arms up as I was just like on limiter leaving this dealership.
SRT4, that was a good, nice car.
Amazing. I wish I
I
still had
liked
one.
it. It was a silver one.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Silver,
TH
it was on
lines.
TH
Yeah.
TH
Loved
lines.
it.
Wish I still had it.
I didn't
What color
mind
was
it.
yours, Josh?
Silver.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Silver. It eventually had a carbon fiber hood and trunk.
Oh,
As
excuse
they
the
do.
fuck out of me.
It's natural progression.
That's going in that direction. I was big into Need for Speed 2, the game at the time. So yeah.
You
Good.
put a BOV on it?
It had the Mopar one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mopar
Big
approved.
OEM parts guy.
Yeah.
What was
Yep.
the mine had a Gretty, so it wasn't that aggressive.
Yep.
What was
Super sequential.
yeah, where like the wind would blow wrong and that thing be like,
You-
like
I mean, you-
barely brake vacuum, and it's like choo, 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 choo. Like
if it, like there could be an RPM change of like 55 RPMs, and that thing just
that thing would just go off.
Yeah. Wow.
can hear it coming from fucking 7 blocks away. Oh, those were the days.
All right, so that shop, then we jump over to the ambulance shop, and we go, where do we go after that?
We go over to the body shop I'm at now.
It's been there for an extended period of time.
10 years next month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, in August, 10 years.
Um,
Which was weird because, like, I painted when I was a kid. Not kid, 18, 19, 20. And then I only painted red, white, black. So then on my interview, the guy's like, you're a painter. I was like, yeah, but I haven't sprayed a metallic color in 5 years. Like, I know I can do this. But, like, the first ones, I might need to get my feet wet a little here.
yeah.
So it was, like, strange to have, like, 8 years experience painting and being like, yeah, but I don't really paint stuff like that.
it's. I mean, it's not far off from going like, oh, I've been doing this for almost a decade. I can only paint white.
Yeah.
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 I can spray white like no one. No one else.
Yeah. So it worked. I was actually hired at the shop I work at now as a prepper.
Okay.
And when I got there, they were slammed. And my boss knew my dad. My dad had worked there before, so I'd never met him, but he knew of me. And he talked to my dad. He's like, he says he can't spray metallic. And my dad's like, just give him a car. He'll do it.
Yeah.
So I walked in and he's like, forget the priming and jamming. Take this car, paint it, see what happens. It took me all day. I was so nervous. And it was gold and it was hot out. And I was like, this is not the car to learn on. I'd never sprayed that paint
Was that a
before.
Camry?
It was like some shitbox Nissan or something.
Oh,
It was like
okay.
not a nice car. Like he very much gave me a car that like if you ruin this, big deal.
Yeah. Big whoop.
And then that one, I did a few more, and then he's like, I'm going to have you prime and jam a little bit, but like as soon as we get your replacement, like you're done. Like you've proven enough.
Yeah.
So I've been a painter ever since, which
great.
is a hell of a step up
Yeah.
because priming and jamming is terrible.
So priming and what are you doing in the
You're basically prepping for the painter. So
Oh,
like
okay.
car comes down to you, disassembled, all the primer, all the body work. If it's a new panel, you'll seal it, jam the back of it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the painter gets it and does the actual work.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's not for me.
It's not for you. We got, for the record, I told him to buy it again, even with the new house. That was his bad. I mean, Katie,
That's
listen,
a lot of smoke right
listen.
now.
The podcast found it before. We'll find it again.
Yeah.
We
It's,
can find
it's
it
out
again.
there.
Here's what really happened. I called her. We had like just moved in, and
Yeah.
she's like, "You're fucking calling me to buy a car that we have no spot for,
Yeah.
because you want it." And I
Yes.
was like, "Correct."
Yes.
In her defense, she did say yes, but like, what am I have nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll it behind my shed. Like,
Although it's
and it was
a great
junk.
welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, like
Right.
here's my clown car in pieces with my brown car in the garage.
Yeah. We'll find it again. It'll come up. If it's
Yeah.
meant to be,
I bet
I
by
bet it's parted.
we'll
I
cross
bet.
paths.
The dude only wanted money for the cat. That's what he wanted it for.
Oh,
Yeah. So
oh boy,
we'll
yeah,
see.
somebody sold it for meth.
up there, maybe.
Yeah, most likely. If it's out there and together, I bet by the end of tomorrow we'll have a APB on that bad
I
boy.
have a VIN if anyone's interested.
Okay, fair.
I would be interested in finding it. I don't know what I would do with it. Make a playhouse for my kid. But
Do something. So, you're with your current employer. You start slinging the paint because of the wide variety of vehicles that this organization deals with. At one point or another, you start getting into some fine Italian metals.
probably 3 or 4 years, I would say, before I was allowed to go near one.
Okay. Okay.
And what it was when I first started, there was a guy that had worked there for a long time, his whole life, early 70s, I think he'd worked there. He would do them. And then there was another guy who was he showed me everything I needed to know about being in an environment like that. He would do them, and he was just unbelievably talented.
Yep.
They did them, and no one could look at them. No one could.
Yep.
That's a really nice car, and that's as far as you're getting. And then a couple years in, I think it was the manager or the assistant manager at the time, we had a Bentley Flying Spur come in as like a used car. Just repairing the fender. I think I blended painted the fender, blended the hood, something like that. And it wasn't like, obviously the allure of painting those cars is they're really cool, but also they pay a lot more
Okay.
per hour.
Yep.
So it's
Because
like,
it is a bit of it's a niche thing it's a specialty thing within a
specialty
grand
thing. You
scheme
wanna
of things.
Make sure everything's on
Yeah.
the up and up with those cars. Like, they're expensive. The people that own them expect to have a really nice.
And it probably is going to be scrutinized more overall,
100%.
just all of it.
So it was a used car, so it wasn't at a high rate. It was just still needs to look exactly the same, but you're not getting paid extra for it. And if you want to try this one, my boss kind of got sweet talked into letting me, he's shown enough. Let's give him a try on this one.
Yep.
And I did it, and it came out. And then a little while later, I think I painted maybe a Maserati bumper or something after that. And that came out fine. And then after that, it was kind of like, all right, you can do them. And then one of the guy that showed me basically everything ended up leaving. And one of the other guys had some health issues, and he left. And then it was like me and another guy started doing them.
Is there more of a learning curve, or like, all right, you know how to paint, right?
Yeah.
Before this, do you have to relearn some things, relearn some specific things, or it truly is like color management and, like you said earlier, like prep and that sort of familiarity with nailing the colors versus anything different I have to add to my.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still just painting,
Mhm.
but there is growing up, my dad was always big on, I don't care if it's a Fiat, I don't care if it's a Ford Focus, you treat every car with the same amount of respect.
Yep.
That being said, when the car's worth $400,000 or $500,000, you do have to put on a little more of like let's put gloves on. We're going to double check that I didn't sit in paint before I get in this car.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
oh my god,
We're going to
dude, I
tape
didn't even
literally
think of that
every
aspect
edge
of it.
that I don't want to sand. We're going to tape everything. Like, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, it's a car.
You're kind of just,
Taking a little bit of extra precaution.
I was gonna say
basically.
slowing things down a little bit just to
With
completely.
those cars, it's almost like forget you're getting paid. Just make sure it comes out perfect.
Yep.
And that's the way you got to look at them.
It seems like some of the parts. I mean, we talk sometimes.
Some of the parts are just the shapes of them are like very hard to paint
Yeah.
because it's just asking to have the paint just start flowing off that thing.
I mean, especially
Right, because essentially
gravity
it's-
takes over.
I was just gonna
Gravity
say it's
does, yeah.
made for air to flow off it, so it just I kind of get
I did I want to say it's the 458. I painted the side of one of those once. And the rear quarters where it starts to, the rear quarter almost is the shape of the taillights. So it does like this really round dip and then it turns into a cove and then that's where it meets the hatch. And that is just asking to make a puddle of clear. It is
to just follow that
it-
flow.
Gravity wants to bring it right there. And
Yeah.
it's the first time you paint one of those, you're like, ooh, that's a dangerous spot.
And when you're applying clear to something like that, it may be a dumb question. You have to do all the clear in one coat.
2 coats.
Okay, so it is too. So you do have not like just going lighter. So like, meaning you can't build it up slowly. You have to nail it within a couple efforts.
Yes and no.
Okay.
There's a couple different ways. There's no like one dead set way of doing it. Most shops or most people will put on, you want it completely covered, but you wouldn't necessarily want it to look exactly like you want. You want coverage, but what you're trying to do is get basically a nice surface for your second coat to stick to, and your second coat will be the flat,
Is your
nice
finish coat. Okay.
That's not to say, and that's not the way I do most of them. I am like they call it coat and a half, where you do one pretty wet coat, step back, give it a minute or two, and then go right back over it with a little bit of a lighter coat. And I find that way just to be easier for me, but it's not to say that one is wrong and one is right.
Right.
You're looking for mill thickness on clear because it's UV protection.
Yep.
So it doesn't necessarily, like if you can do that, I mean, you're not going to do it in one coat with it looking nice, but if you could, that would be fine.
Yep.
But 2 coats, 1.5, whatever it takes.
As with many things, different ways to achieve
Different
the
ways.
same goal.
And
But
there's different guns flow different people paint different. It doesn't, I work with a guy that coat and a half everything very fast, very far away. He's like a very touchy-feely painter. And I could never. The way he paints, I could absolutely never. And the way I paint, he could never. But his paint jobs are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's just different strokes for different folks.
yeah,
basically,
can
you know?
achieve the same goal ultimately. Earlier on when we first started chatting about this, I think I asked how many cars you can bang out in a day when you first started.
Yeah.
How many cars do you paint a day now? If it's
Depending
not
on
if it's
size,
not a big
Not a
crazy.
big job.
Yeah.
I try to do 2.
Okay.
2, depending on job. You can do 3. You could do 4 bumpers in a car or 2. It depends on the day. It depends on how hot it is. Depends on the color.
Right, there's just the
sometimes.
different variables
Everything, yeah.
overall.
Try to do 2.
Yeah.
Depending on the job.
Now, recently, we talked about the CDK stuff, and then your COVID parts availability. You're like currently working on a GR Corolla.
Yeah.
And like you said, like the bumper's just non-existent. Like
As far,
availability.
what I got told was that's the only bumper available in the U.S. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. Because
But
at this
like-
point, they can't look that up.
Yeah, no one can verify
There
that.
could be 2 dozen in a warehouse down the street.
Yeah, well, no one knows.
According to this last input record.
But like cars like that, I mean, there's been you and I talk all the time about whatever it is you're working on, and there's been a handful of cars like that where it's just like waiting on this part, just waiting and waiting and
Yeah.
waiting and waiting.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Now, that car specifically, you said it's like a blend between like Corolla and some GR specialty stuff.
Yeah.
Under that, is it like under the bumpers and everything like that? Is it just a Corolla
Mostly.
mostly?
I
Just
don't-
kinda-
I wasn't there when the guy took it apart, and it's kind of tough for me to look at. I don't know what I'm looking at under there.
Yeah.
I see they're always taken apart, and I just kind of glance.
Yeah. It's all plastic.
From when I got told the stuff that makes it a GR is GR stuff.
Yeah.
And almost everything else is just
Corolla.
regular Corolla.
Yeah.
Like the hood is just a Corolla hood. I think
Really? Okay.
I don't know about the front doors. The rear doors could be regular Corolla with
cladding on 'em?
adding the cladding.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the quarters, maybe. I don't know. Rear bumper is obviously different because it has to made up to that stuff. Which
Yeah.
is way wider.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But, like,
hefty.
I know we're waiting on an AC condenser for it, and it's just a Corolla AC condenser. There's nothing different about that.
It's just waiting
Yeah.
for one to show up. I call that car my sweet princess. That's the Great
I
White
didn't
Buffalo.
think I like those. I shouldn't say that. I thought I would see one and be like, eh. And I saw it and I was like, that's pretty bad. And then I drove it and I was like, I get why these are
Yeah.
what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special little car.
Yeah.
It's a tidy little car there.
Yeah. nice, neat little package.
There's also been some other weird things you've like painted that are cars, but also like strange things, like the miniature Corvette things.
That was a weird one. That was super weird.
Like, I just get a photo one day of like I think like 7 of them.
It was like a quarter scale. There was 3 of them.
Oh,
Like quarter scale go-karts that are like exact replicas of like 58 Corvettes.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like the strangest thing. Like the owner, or I guess former owner of the company at this point, like saw them and bought them and liked them.
Yeah.
And then brought them down in their fiberglass
And
was
wanted
like,
them refinished.
I want them restored. And you could buy every little trinket for them. So like one was black with white coves and like red leather interior. And the one I painted was like red with white coves and I think a black interior. And then they did one that looked like the Speed Racer car. And that had
Okay.
like gold mags on it and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty sweet. But yeah, like one day a dude just drove into the shop in a go-kart. It's like, yeah, we're painting this.
All right. What is your opinion on the overall quality of paint from some of these higher end vehicles?
Ooh, higher end stuff is typically good.
Okay.
A lot of the higher end stuff is typically hand painted, which you can definitely tell.
Yep.
Some of it is, some of it isn't. As far as anything like Volkswagen Audi Group, very nice paint.
Okay.
Very few issues with those. And also, I don't know if it's because the paint I spray is German and they just, the cars are there. They're
The
there to get
combination.
the colors very good.
Yeah.
Very little issues with German cars. Audi, Volkswagen, BMW, they're all across the board pretty easy. The colors on those cars are pretty good.
Okay.
The one weird thing that BMW does do, which can be a nightmare, is they tag every individual color is the same code. So you have to like decode them if they come in. It's strange.
Yep.
I've never ran into that. I was talking to my paint rep about it last time because he was running through them. And it's like, you look up this code and it just says individual. And it's like, oof, there's a lot of those.
Right. Yeah. Great. Now I have a great place to start.
real helpful. Yeah.
What is some of you, or do you have a favorite color to spray?
Not really.
No.
They're kind of all the same. at this
Whatever the
point.
day
Yeah.
is.
There's some cool color. Like doing the candy stuff is cool just because you feel like you're painting a Lolo. Like, you're in there slinging red candy.
Right.
Which once you figure out how to do those, they're pretty cool. After that, you kind of get, every once in a while, there'd be a cool color come in and you're like, yeah, that color is it.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, not really. It's kind of all the same.
Do you have a favorite tool to use?
Spray gun.
Okay.
Spray guns are just cool.
Are you particular about that? I was going to say.
Sada.
Okay.
Big shouts to Sada.
Okay.
If you're not spraying a Sada, I don't take you seriously. I'll die on this hill.
You've got some fancy paint guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
They're
But you know what?
they
It's
look
the
they
main
look the
tool
part
I
though.
use, and you get what you pay for.
Well, it's like the
It's
tool.
gun.
Yeah, it's the
I mean,
tool.
There are
yeah.
some more expensive guns, but they're built really well. They spray great. It's kind of all I've ever used, and it's like industry standard, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you can use this DeVilbiss. There's, I forget who the other big one is. They make some funky looking guns, but it's like, I don't know, man. Sada.
Tried and true.
Yeah, tried and true. And I've got some limited edition ones because like I like to get a little freaky with
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Some of the photos of these he sent me, I'm like,
Yeah, I
is
have
it
like a camouflage one. I got a tie-dye one.
Yep.
I'm trying to. They only made a few hundred of them. They have one with like a a Scarlet Macaw going down the side of it. We only made a couple, and they're so expensive. And I go on eBay, and if one pops up, I'll be like, I'll give you like nothing for this.
Yeah. Just try to scoop one up.
Just trying to get one. Yeah.
Yeah.
For is it how it sprays? Is it ergonomics in your hand as well?
Ergonomics, the way it's weighted with paint in the gun is a huge thing, because you can hold a spray gun and think it's comfortable, but when you put a pound and a half
above it,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna want something comfortable, and you're gonna want something that you can move easily
and
not
feel
worry
stable
about.
with,
Feel
right?
stable.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And now you want that stability throughout the spraying as well, too, because
Right.
it's obviously
you
going
also
to go
want it
down.
not only up and down, but you want it side to side, because when you're going across a hood, you're parallel with the hood.
Right.
So like,
And
you
you're
don't want that thing sticking way over, and you're constantly turning your wrist the whole time.
I was going to say, so for, again, kind of high-end cars, let's talk a Bentley, for instance, right? A lot of those cars with gigantic hoods
Awful.
are I was going to say, because you're
Absolutely
like,
awful.
you're articulating yourself to
Yeah.
go across either it's horizontally or vertically from the front, however it is, you have
It's
to
both when they're that big.
manage how you're going to do that. Do you have
Yeah.
a game plan or just
Say-
kind of go
yes,
in?
Basically, with a thing like that, say you're doing a new hood blending with fenders.
Yep.
You always, they call it the wet edge. You always want to. They should have named. You should have named the episode that.
Oh,
You
we will.
always want.
I'm about to
paint-
change my Instagram
I
name.
know, wet edge. At me on wet edge. So what you always want paint falling into wet paint,
Yeah.
because if you don't, you're getting droplets on dry stuff. It's gonna look like snakeskin, basically.
Yeah.
So for something like that, you would start at the bottom of one fender, work your way up, go across the hood, and for something that big, you're literally stretching as far as you can and then walking in front of that car, and almost, I'm painting, putting my hand out in front of me. And then if you still can't, like I don't know how to describe it without, I mean, people can't see me, but like you're literally going like this.
Yeah.
And then if you still can't reach it, because some cars are that long, what you got to do is kick the spray fan on your gun. You make it smaller and it'll spray further.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can do that and that'll kick it out further. Like
You like feather it out there.
feather it out.
Yeah.
So like on the bigger, fancier stuff, those cars are typically lower, so it's not that bad.
Yep.
When you got to paint a Tundra hood and you're on a stand and you're trying not to fall on it, and like new Tundras have a cove in the back of them, so you're
Yeah.
like, if I'm trying to paint the back of a Tundra hood, I'm like looking towards the headlights on a stand, and I'm like over the mirror trying to paint the back of this thing.
Right.
You're like painting it in reverse.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I can just like, I know you
Stuff
said
like that is the hard part of the job,
right.
because then it's like if you're spraying it and it's not wet enough or it's dry, it's like you're gonna see it, and then you're just gonna have to redo it anyway.
Right. It just, and then, so typically if something like that happens, do you have to send it back to the body guys
No,
to bring,
no,
okay.
you
Is
fix
that
That's
you?
all on you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I work flat rates, so not only is it on me, it's on me for free.
Okay. All right. I wasn't quite sure how that worked.
That was on the house.
That one's on the house for me.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I can see there's some pressure.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. For
A
sure.
lot of it,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. It was very stressful for me going to that place for the first 2 years.
Yep.
Like every day I'd show up and be like, maybe I should get a different job. And I liked it, but like,
Right. You got to
it's
get
just
through
a
this.
lot.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you got to,
because you're learning and you're ruining stuff, and then you're fixing the stuff you ruined while not getting paid for it.
right. And still trying to, make money. Right. You have to just build that callus and,
Yeah.
become a
Basically, it's
see-
take them when they come.
grizzly veteran.
And that's not to say I don't fuck shit up.
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're all fucking shit up.
Yeah.
You just get better at fixing it.
Get
Turn-
faster at fixing
I was
it.
going to say
Fixing
turnaround
it.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another question I had. Shit. I just lost it.
Uh-oh.
I completely lost it. My mush mouth is catching
Well,
up
you
to
think
me.
of that. What's
Yeah.
up with the Countach?
That was gnarly. I
Nah.
didn't paint
Yeah,
that.
you know what I'm
Thank
saying.
God.
Yeah.
Um,
You just have an epic photo with it.
Yeah. That got bought at auction, kind of sight unseen. It was kind of like a buy it at any price sort of car.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 90. I don't know what it was. Triple white.
Oh,
White interior.
V white.
V white. Red piping on the seats. red rug.
Oh,
Yeah. The thing, it looked the balls. And it
red
was
rug.
Yeah, red carpet. Everything else was white except for one little trim on the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a rat. It was just terrible. Just classic early 90s Italian.
Yeah.
And we restored it, basically.
That's cool.
I didn't. I wanted no part of that.
Was
don't
it
know.
cool to see like taken apart?
It was so awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I drove it from the front of my shop to the back of my shop and then back. And that is as much time as I would ever want to spend in a Countach.
did you have to back it up?
No, it wasn't. It was a Diablo. That was a Diablo.
Diablo. Why did
Yeah,
I think
it
it was
was
a
a Diablo.
Countach? Yeah, okay. But yeah.
It was. I don't know how anyone drives them. Like when people say these are terrible to drive, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Makes
Like,
sense.
That V12 is like 4 inches behind your head. And when you flip it on, it's at like 2,000 RPM. And
Yeah.
It's just screaming. You can't hear anything. You can't. Have you ever been in an old Italian car like that? The pedals are not in front of you. They're off to the
Yeah.
side. You need to have like a size 6 Italian loafer on to get the clutch and the gas
Yeah.
at the same. They're miserable. Like there's a reason none of those cars have miles on them. Look gorgeous. Like 100 yards was plenty for me.
That put you over
You
the
got a
top.
lot more into your belt than 99.9% of everyone else out there.
Yeah. Like it was, I'm so glad I did it, but like, oh, that was brutal.
Is there a car that stands out that you're like, oh wow, I could get into this?
A lot of the Ferraris.
Okay.
I see them and I'm like, I'm not like a big Ferrari guy, but like I've done a couple of FFs and I'm like,
Yep.
that's a Z3M coupe, except it's got a V12 in it.
Yep.
And that's bad.
Yep.
Those are cool. I did, when the F12s first came out, I did an F12 and it was a special order blue with a special order interior. And like those cars, I don't know if they have the scoops in the bumper that open up at speed and close at speed. It
Yep.
goes through the bumper, up in the hood, and the fenders have this weird cove.
Yep.
From the factory, they forgot to paint a spot in the cove. So looking at one side of the car, you couldn't see it. But if you stood on the other side and looked into the cove, there was just like this 2 by 2 inch square of primer on like this. I
It's
think
good
it had
to
like,
see the quality assurance, quality control
Yeah.
is fucking.
yeah.
Yeah, Giuseppe was on his
Giuseppe
cigarette break.
forgot that one that day. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was out getting a prosciutto.
That's the I never stand on the other side. That's
see nothing.
exactly
Like, yeah.
right.
But,
Oh,
so I
man.
literally had to paint like the inside of this cove on like I think that car had like a 475 inch MSRP. Ford. It was wildly expensive. I don't know if it's true or not. The story I got told is that was a special order color, special order everything, came in and the guy who ordered it didn't like it and immediately sold it to somebody else.
Didn't like it?
Didn't like the color in person.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you order something like that, you see, you obviously don't see a whole car, but you get like,
You got like a little swatch of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it could be BS. Who knows?
imagine spending $500,000 and be like, nah, I don't like it.
That's
thing with that is-
that's the thing.
You got a one-off F12.
Yeah.
So automatically that car's probably worth more than whatever you just paid.
I wonder if
Right.
that was just
Someone's
like,
someone's happy to buy it.
yeah.
yeah.
They didn't have to wait.
I was just
18
gonna
months
say,
to get it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of those Porsche dudes
Yeah.
are doing like I think Porsche even put a stipulation in that you have to own a GT3 RS or something for like a year, a
Yep.
12-month period before you can do anything with it or something
Yeah.
like that. I thought that was a stipulation.
Yeah. We had a Daytona come in one time, brand new, came off the boat, and it was a custom teal. It was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. White interior, teal Ferrari Daytona, and the paint was junk. They couldn't get something right at the factory, and when it left, it was fine. But as it dried, it like coming from wherever they're built in Italy, Maranello, it got cloudy, and it showed up, and they put a paint gauge on that car, and it was like 5 times what it should have been.
Oh wow.
Will they
The
just
car
keep laying it
Just
on?
kept sanding and painting. And our paint reps came down and they like, do not touch that.
Yeah.
Because the second you touch it, you own
It's
it.
your problem.
It's your and I don't know what happened with that car. To see it from 15 feet away, you're like, everyone, oh, it's the cheap guy Daytona. Daytonas are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And to see that car, I was like, that is sick. And then
Yeah.
I walked up to it, I was like, that really blows.
That's rough.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
That seems like a different part of the job as well, where you are communicating with reps, you know, middlemen, all
Yeah.
the time, right? Because if a dispute or something like that comes up at the factory, from the factory,
Yeah.
you know, stand back and wait, but also communicate. It's just an interesting
It's tough.
aspect.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of they're hand built cars. Like,
Right.
stuff is going to happen to them.
Yeah.
And it does happen to them.
And meanwhile, you have a customer who just spent $500,000 and
A lot of guys are pretty understanding.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be butthurt if my $500,000 car came in and scratched.
came
Like,
up,
Yeah.
came in
Amen.
hazy.
Hazy, yeah, I'd be upset too. Not that those cost that much, but like, yeah, some cars come in and it's like,
Right,
I get why you're upset.
right,
Yeah.
right. Especially if you wait an extended period of time. Do you ever get to go to any, sanctioned events due to the
No,
nothing like that?
No.
It's truly just slinging,
Yep.
running and slinging.
That's that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What's the like total turd of a car that comes in a manufacturer that's just like just shitty to deal with, shitty to work on, shitty to reassemble?
Hyundai,
Hyundai?
yeah.
It's just all
You would look at a Hyundai and be like,
Plastic.
I bet that bumper sucks to do. And then 3 hours later, you're still disassembling a front bumper. And you're like, how does one part consist of 300 parts that are plastic, clipped into plastic,
Yeah.
that break the second you touch them?
that's where liquid clips
The
comes.
liquid clips come into play. And also, they all break when you take them apart.
Yeah.
And their Hyundai colors are miserable to paint. Their parts are miserable to deal with. Like, they're just not it.
There you go.
They're expensive on top of that. Hyundai parts are expensive. You wouldn't think
Their
it.
cars have been climbing.
Cars have been climbing. And
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I do not enjoy getting Hyundais on my, and I paint a lot of them.
I got a cousin who just got what's the Hyundai's like SUV? It's the
Palisade?
Palisades or whatever.
Yeah.
In like that, like you said, like that flattish gray color.
Yeah.
I hope nothing happens to that.
Same.
That'd be a nightmare.
Same. Because that's paint.
Yeah,
And that's tough.
that sucks. I mean, I guess there's a reason why the cars are cheaper. They're held together.
200,000-mile warranty.
100,000 mile.
200.
are they
The new
still doing
Santa
that?
Fe is a 200 I saw.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, if there's more, I don't know. Like, where's the manufacturing sense in that to make it with so many plastic parts versus
I don't know.
Less
like you see them
metal.
and you're like, you could have done this a complete. Maybe it's cheaper just to
that?
make the
That's right.
molds,
And
like-
right, if they can make their own parts or something,
I don't know.
rely on less people. I'm
And
sure
the-
there's some
not
reason.
only
but-
that, like you take them apart and it's like the car is red, the middle of the grill is like satin black. It's got a satin silver piece, and then the ends are shiny black. It's like I gotta make
there's
five
five
colors,
different
two
shades.
clears to paint one bumper.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of different shades, have you ever ran into any of those BMW Frozen?
No,
Okay. I was just curious what that even entails. I hear horror stories about
Horror
the paint
stories.
and et cetera, but I've never
The
actually heard.
The thing with those is there's no fixing anything, and that's across the board. Like you get a dust nib in it, you live with it, or you repaint it because you
Yeah.
can't sand it and buff it.
Right. There's no.
So like, hope everything you can.
Right.
Like we had I didn't paint it, but what is the absolutely massive range? It's got a funny name. It's a huge
Discovery?
Discovery.
Yeah.
Was it Disco? I don't know. It was flat, like this weird tealish green. And it came in new bumper, blend the fenders. And the kid who did it, I mean, it came out awesome, but we were like, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get one shot, and it's like, you can do everything possible. You blow yourself up, blow the car off. We have these electrostatic guns that will zero out any electrostatic on the cars. Like, you could do everything, and all you have to do is move the airline one way, and it's just dust. It's like you could do everything, and still a piece of dust could fall out of a filter. Like,
Right.
stuff out of your control can happen, and it's like, how many times are we going to paint this?
Before it's impractical.
Or are you
yeah.
going to just say it's acceptable? And on a car that big and expensive,
Yep.
it's not acceptable.
Right. Because then it's just like, hey, look, and it's unrealistic to say this, but we keep charging you hours until it's done right, regardless. But that no customer's going to go for that ever.
It's
just
going to be,
hey, get
I
it
paid
right.
you once, and now it's your
That's-
problem to know how to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fix it.
And
That was my question I was going to ask before. The blending of stuff. I don't understand that concept. Are you like, let's say a fender and a hood, right? You want main subject that you're painting is the hood, but you want to blend it to the fender. Are you physically sanding down some of that fender?
Yes.
Leaving.
Fender.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
the
you
whole
are the whole fender.
Well,
Okay.
Panels are end to end.
Okay.
Sand the
Okay.
whole thing.
Okay.
So like an easy way to describe it, hoods are weird because hoods can also, you can get into doors and stuff, but like new fender, it's easy because you're going to blend into the top of the hood, you're going to blend into the door.
Yep.
Car comes in for a new fender, you sand the whole fender, the whole hood, the whole door. Hood and door, blend panels, 1,000 grit, where you, like the new panel, 500 if, because it's probably going to be sealer.
Yep.
And then basically you take the paint you're going to spray, paint the fender, and as you're grazing, like working into the panels next to it, you're literally taking the spray gun and whipping it with your hand.
Almost pulling it away, or
Not
just
pulling
truly
it away,
just
literally
whipping
just
it.
wrist.
Okay.
Just flicking it basically.
Okay.
And that will trick your eye into thinking that the color you sprayed is exactly dead on the color.
Okay.
The trick, the reason why we blend is there's no 100% perfect color.
Yep.
It's always going to be a little bit off.
Yep.
So blending, you're taking technically call it the wrong color, and you're spreading it out.
You're
18
minimizing instead of putting a hard and fast line right down the middle.
Right.
You're just adding a gradient.
All you're doing is grading it out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense.
I mean, you can take some rancid colors
Yeah.
and blend them out.
Yeah.
You would be amazed how off a color can be, and you can blend it out. And I mean, take some wizardry and some tricks. but
Right. Right. But
you
you
can get
do
some
it.
bad
It's
colors to go a
achievable.
long way.
Is there one color that you're like, this is ridiculous to blend besides that Nissan color?
The Nissan colors are really tough. That color I was talking about earlier, 1G3, can be tough.
Oh, right. Right. From the Toyotas.
A lot of the light silvers can be tough because what happens with that is you're whipping it out with your hand, and that's naturally making it like, spray finer, but it's also making droplets go further off down the road. So if you're not paying attention to where you're ending your blend, it's like, say I put 2 coats and I blend it in the same spot exactly, I'm going to get a hard line, and you will see
Right. Because
my
there's a
color
defined.
where I tried to blend it and then the original color. And if you do it too dry in those spots, they call it modeling. It looks all cloudy and weird underneath it. So there's definitely there's a technique to do it. You try to find body lines. You try not
To
to
hide.
be straight.
Kind
Like
of
if
camo.
I'm doing a new fender, I'm going to bring the paint further on the bottom because your eye naturally isn't going to pick up if the color's bad, and it's further down the bottom of the door. So I'll go further on the bottom, and as I'm working my way up, I'll try to make a diagonal line going up the side of the car. So the blend up top is pretty short,
Yep.
farther out on the bottom, but I know I'm not crossing the same path a bunch of times on my way up.
Yep.
And your eye will not, it's easier to trick the eye doing things like that.
Yeah. Versus a hard and fast line in the middle of a door.
Right.
Right. Oh, here's my blending where I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
You find weird ways to do things.
I was going to say, and that's going
different
to be
tricks.
something that develops
Moving,
over time.
If you're going up and down, maybe the last coat you go side to side.
Yep.
So that's big with hoods. Like you go side to side and then you turn, go the opposite way on your last coat. So even if you got stripes painting it the first way, if you go across ways, now the stripes are gone.
Yep.
So stuff like that you can learn how to do.
Which all just, again, comes over time and,
It's just time.
seasoned and
ruining enough stuff.
understand.
Pulling a silver car out of the booth and seeing stripes across the hood. It's like, that's all one color. I didn't put those stripes.
Right,
in
right. How did that happen?
Everyone has been there.
Not paint wise, but do you have a favorite color in general, car wise?
Ooh, that's really tough.
You and I are always talking about greens.
I'm a big green guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bahama Yellow, I think it is, the Porsche. Is that the one that's it's orange, but they call it yellow?
I
Porsche
think
also
so.
has this weird brown that is non-metallic brown. It's like a coffee color that is,
Sepia?
I think it's sepia. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. I wonder, I was drawing a blank of what it is. So in the printing industry, there's a unit of measure. It's like an H unit, but the H stands for something. and it's like physically measuring a color, and the eye can only see if it's over 5 variations away from that color. So there must be something.
There's a way they do it, yeah. So technically, like when I was saying, we get like a book of all the different variants. Technically, any one of those should be good enough to paint,
Yeah.
but they're not.
Oh wow. Okay, Bahama Yellow. I pictured it on new ones for whatever reason, but the old ones, that's a killer color.
That's
Pull that
cool
up
one.
real quick.
Yeah, I mean,
What is it? Moonstone? That purple? That
Moonstone's
Moonstone
crazy.
again. Moonstone's
Yep.
a good one.
oh yeah,
But yeah, like this, I was gonna say 70s Porsche
on the
color.
P-car
It's such
market.
a good color. Ah, that's a great one.
Yeah, is it sepia brown? The other one?
yeah. If you search like sepia brown, I'm pretty sure that comes up. I think that was also offered recently.
Oh,
That this
wow,
color
yeah.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was offered recently on cars. It
Yeah,
became
you
like
can
an
get
option.
it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Porsche's a really cool ivory too. And I think they just call it ivory.
Is it the one that was on the one with the houndstooth interior edition?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
Porsche does colors very nice.
Porsche is good. I
Yeah.
think I want to say Seinfeld, his 911R is ivory with blue stripes. I think it is.
Talk about class.
Yeah, that's a great
Ivory.
color.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
like just.
It's the perfect amount of not white.
Right.
It's
like a
kind of
tooth.
like Champ White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Champ white is 100% beige.
Yeah. It's like
The first time I sprayed Champ white, I was like, "That's a Manila folder."
yeah,
like,
it's
there's no way
like
this
a
is white.
creamy color. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the last of my questions, if you can remember? What is like the least amount of a shade you see these days? In other words, is it a green or is it
Yeah.
like I see no reds anymore because it's all beige, silver, blue. I mean, white, etc.
It's a lot of black, white, silver,
Yeah.
charcoal. Red is more popular than it used to be, like because of the candy colors.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of green. Blue is getting a little more popular,
Yep.
and like as far as like purple and stuff like that, like hardly ever.
It's rare. Yeah.
I've
Extremely
probably
rare.
painted like 2 purple cars ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you would expect.
Yeah. I kind of assumed that.
Yeah, like
that
what
was
you
the
see on the
case.
road.
But like, yeah, it's just a great. It's a reflection of exactly that. What's out there.
Yeah, a lot of white, a lot of pearl white. Pearl white's getting every other car is pearl white now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
What's up with these non-metallic colors all of a sudden growing in popularity?
I don't know, but I love it. I
Is it-
absolutely love it.
It's easier for you.
I mean, they're easy for me, but they're also just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at like Bahama Yellow, the Sepia Brown, the Ivory, all non-metallics, all great colors.
A lot of the new Santa Fe's, they're coming in non-metallic colors.
Yeah. Best OE color ever has to be Midori.
That's a
Oh, yeah,
good one.
Honda Green. Yeah.
Yeah, Midori green is.
Is
good.
that the one that looks? It always reminds me of Sprite. Like Sprite.
Yeah.
It's like that Sprite
Yeah,
colored
yeah,
green. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's get into some. Jake, thank you very much for
Thank you.
letting us dive into your career and hopefully teaching myself and some listeners out there or watchers on YouTube some stuff when it comes to paint. It was truly enjoyable to dive into that. It's a fascinating fascinating part of the automotive world.
Yeah.
And it truly is. And that's, I mean, I can only imagine when it gets into, I just remember, for instance, when I went to SEMA and the amount of vendors there specifically for custom color applications, flake manufacturers, all that sort of stuff. It's almost endless when you get into that realm of, hot rods or even customization.
crazy?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Do you have any experience with like big flake?
Not big. The craziest thing I've done is that CTSV, that Cadillac color, the
Okay.
black with like, they call it crystal black maybe.
Yep.
And it's a pearl coat, and it is like a disco ball. But that's
Yep.
not any different than spraying anything else.
Right. Okay. So you're not
It's like
adding
a
the flake
crazy-
separately, or it's
No.
all in one kind of container,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the exception of hardener and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But yeah, okay, makes sense.
Other than that, no, I don't mess with that.
Have you sprayed anything else other than cars? I mean, bikes. I kind of want the same thing, but like anything,
Sprayed a
artsy.
couple of tins.
Okay.
I painted a cane once. Some dude wanted his cane like a midnight metallic,
Yep.
Yeah, he put like a brass tip on it. I painted that. That was pretty cool. What did I paint? My kid painted like this wooden like soapbox derby looking car.
Yep.
It looked like tie-dye, and I brought it into work and I cleared it so that like it would stay like that.
Oh,
Did
perfect.
That was cool.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've done random stuff like AC units and stuff for like outside of houses.
Okay. Okay.
The guy wanted them all flat black.
Right. So they just kind of blend in and
they've got
hide
a hot
away.
rod AC unit.
Yeah.
It's all right, buddy.
Yeah, like,
He wanted that Bass Pro
that was,
flake.
yeah, that was a strange one, but it was kind of, you weren't saying no to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do people think paint jobs cost?
$500.
What are they
The
not?
amount of people, which granted, I have a private Instagram account.
Yeah.
I don't follow a lot of people. Some people follow me and I don't know them, but typically I keep it pretty tight.
Yeah.
I post pictures of my kid. I don't really mess with that. The amount of people that will DM me and be like, "Hey, bro, whole car already prepped, just gonna shoot it," thinking like $300, and it's like, nah,
I'm not even backing out of my driveway.
yeah. How about $300 worth of tape and razor blades?
So that's
Yeah.
what I was just gonna say is like
I don't know
300,
the prices of
500.
stuff down to the T, but like
That
rest
doesn't even
assured, it's
cover.
very expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't even cover materials.
No, it's thousands of dollars in materials.
That's what people just don't seem to understand.
Yeah, and it's not just paint. It's like, you think you're going to prep it and I'm going to show up. And it's like, if you don't work in the industry, you're definitely not prepping it right.
Right.
Lord knows what you use to do it with.
Right. Or where you're gonna want me to spray it. Like,
Yeah, and then it's
oh,
like,
dude, just do it in my garage. I just sprayed the floor with water.
right, and like the off chance I would say yes, which is practically never. Like you walk in, you do exactly what they want, and they're like, "Well, that doesn't look great." And so, well, yeah,
No
we're basically
shit.
in a dark cave right now. You handed me a gun with who even knows what paint it is. It could be water.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Right.
please make this SEMA ready.
Right.
It's-
Yeah.
I need my SEMA built.
yeah.
Oh, it's so accurate.
Which, I mean, garage jobs are fine. I love it. I painted Phil's truck's frame in his garage, and I loved
Yep.
it. And it came out awesome.
Yep.
Like, painting in a garage is not a bad thing. But if you want to give me a rock and say make it a diamond and use this $3 paint while you're at it,
Yeah,
Right.
you can make it a shiny rock.
you're,
Right, it's just-
you're a little unrealistic.
There was like a video he posted the other day of like it was like a car painting commercial from what, the 60s?
Oh yeah, and it was like what was it, a $29 paint job?
$29,
And if you
$29.
paid the $29, you get like 10 hours of bodywork labor free.
Oh my god.
It
Dude.
shows this dude on like this huge old Dodge, and he is just working this metal with a mallet. I assume afterwards he came out with like 2 pounds of lead and just melted
Right.
it.
Just yeah. Slung it all on there. Oh my god.
The guy's just like squirting some paint on, and he's like, better than new, like at the end.
And
Yeah.
if you watch it, nothing is out of that car.
No.
All the chrome grills, everything is in it, and then they roll it out of the booth, and it's very clearly just a red version of the car. Like my favorite commercial from back in the day was Mako.
I was gonna say I remember the
and they would
Mako
show these
ones.
dudes full fresh air system, beautiful new paint suit in the booth. The cars would have no tape, no masking, no nothing, and they're just ripping what is very obviously water out of this paint.
Just atomizing water in the air. It looks good on camera,
It
though.
looked odd.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to the eye.
Whatever it takes to sell. You know. You think those Burger
We've
King?
got 12 minutes to film this commercial.
I mean, you think those Burger King burgers are gonna look like that
Yeah.
when you go order one? Some quick rapid fire questions here. Matt Culfer, Punisher or Stick Family window stickers? Absolutely none.
Oh, neither. I can't do either.
Yeah.
Me with both.
GTI Project. It's the 80s all over again. Route books, handwritten ROs, manual punch clocks. I'm a dispatcher, warranty, admin. Haven't done fucking shit for 7 days now.
I mean, what? It's cool now, but when it all comes back, it's gonna be like a fucking volcano.
Oh, it's gonna be way worse.
Yeah.
Right, because nothing's gonna be correct at all.
No.
Oh my god, it's what a shit show. M. Alexandro. Not sure if you saw the late news yesterday about VW investing $5 billion into Rivian. I did see that.
Oh, I
actually.
did.
We didn't cover that.
And I got a handful of DMs about it. And I'll tell you how much I'm still down. Hold on, let me
Even with that backing.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on, give me 1 second. Let me open this up here. I am still total down. I'm still down. I'll give you a percentage instead. 85.63%.
It's tough.
You can only go up,
It's cold out there.
or perhaps down a little more.
It's cold out there.
Mike Terry, can we get Shook a tinfoil hat? Yeah, he's got one implanted. 4-door Phil, what are the top 3 OEM paint colors of all time in no particular order?
Well, we just talked about
Panther Pink.
Panther
Number 1.
Pink. Yeah.
OG Dodge. If you don't like Panther Pink,
You ain't
I'm
right.
sorry. Plum Crazy.
Oh,
Beautiful, which I think is the color Shook's car, actually.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Probably one of those Porsche colors is third.
Yeah.
To
the
me,
Bahama yellow.
growing up, I wasn't an import guy because my dad's a hot rod guy, and I was always like a 70 Challenger they didn't paint any Superbirds pink, but like the Hemi Cudas and stuff. Like the fact that Dodge in 1969 had the audacity to paint a car bright pink
Yeah.
and then put like white leather interior in it, it blows my mind.
Or
and I love
even-
every minute of it.
Even that green that they
Sublime
had,
green.
the oranges were crazy.
They were awesome. Petty blue is a beautiful color.
Yeah. So Phil just said no petty blue.
Yeah.
TDs, you think it's a good time to buy a car now with CDK down? I don't know. I don't know. if
I
you're
don't
wrong.
even know. Yeah.
don't know.
how-
Depends
I'd be very
on-
curious to know how that works.
Oh, they probably don't. They probably can't finance anything. So you got to
what's-
go through a bank.
You got to show up with an IOU, just a handwritten IOU. Like, hey man, I want that.
Yeah.
just. I mean,
It might be actually. It might be a really good time.
It
to
might
go
be
in
the
and
time.
rank-
But
and
if they're
rank some
doing it all
nags.
by hand, go in there and just pray that someone loses that paperwork.
right,
Yeah.
just something.
Because I'm thinking, so okay, you go in, you go in your bank finance. So you go to your local bank, you get finance through that. But you go in and just like wring someone's neck just for hours on end. I mean, you could probably walk away with a pretty decent deal.
I think the biggest thing is just like we learned with a lot of these difficult to purchase cars. If you walk out with a signed purchase and sales agreement, I think you're okay, right? Wasn't that the
That's
case?
a legally binding contract.
Yeah, so you can do that. And last, certainly not least, Jordan, MX_5. What would Jake recommend for best protection from rock chips and tire markings?
Not to fucking hit other
Not
people.
to do it.
My guy paints a bumper and immediately biffs it.
Yeah, I love
Jordan,
that.
yeah,
Like that within.
the next day. The next day.
Yeah, I've done that taking them out of the booth.
Oh,
It
man.
happens.
Yeah, he's sliding his car.
Ceramic coating, probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not big on
PPF.
PPF. I'm heavy against PPF.
For me,
One,
PPF is
because
going to
it-
be
It takes away the color. I
yeah.
don't care what they say. It's not for me.
The
Yeah,
thing
you're
is,
adding
too-
something over.
Couple of years, like I've seen old PPF, and it's like you want no part of taking that off.
Yeah,
You want to have to use a grinder
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get off a piece of plastic. Find some PPF on a Lexus from like 08.
yeah.
It looks like alligator skin.
I spent a day doing the top side of the bumper on the R32.
Yeah.
And that was like,
It was probably like a 5-inch by 30-inch piece.
yeah, my shoulder, like I think my rotator cuff, is gone because
Yeah.
of that day. It still hurts from
The
doing
thing
that.
is, like, they always say the films are optically clear, but the problem is the adhesive. No adhesives are optically clear.
Right.
So, like, there's always a yellow
I was gonna say that's
hinge
exactly
to
yeah.
adhesive, and then over time, like you
Turns
said,
more yellow.
it just
Yeah.
continues to yellow and yellow
Or
and
like,
yellow and yellow.
We see it a lot on white cars. Older white gets, the worse it looks. You get
Yeah.
a nice piece of PPF in the front of that fender. You get in an accident, you're gonna blend that fender. You have the most pristine white and then the most chalky car after
Yes.
that. And it's like, what do you want us to do here?
Yeah, this isn't on us.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So you feel pretty strongly about ceramic coat.
It seems to hold up the best.
Okay.
It is a nightmare for me to repair. Like an absolute nightmare.
Right, because you mentioned that one before that there was some on there and you was trying to spray. It was still
I did a C8 vet maybe probably like 3 months ago because I was out. It was candy red, new front bumper, blend the fenders, and the guy, it was like brand new, and the guy was like, I just had it ceramic coated. So I didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Not called, I DM Pottle. This is my guy Pottle.
Yeah.
Shouts. He's like, you can buff it off. And I tried, and I had not so much.
Yeah.
And then I thought I sanded it good enough, like no orange peel, nice and flat, and in the tiniest little crest of those, like what was left of the orange peel. The second I put something on that, it just
Ran.
turned into a sponge. Like it just, the paint was like, yeah, I'm not sticking to that.
Yeah.
Wiped it all off, and what I ended up having to do was take really, really crazy strong chemicals with a gray scuff pad and just scrub it from end to end. And that eventually did it. But like, the other thing is they put such a small amount of paint on cars now. You're trying to get the ceramic coat off without blowing paint off the edges. So
Right.
that was a nightmare.
Especially on a car like a C8 where there's so many edges.
The guy just got it, and he just told you how like happy he is to have it. And
Right.
like, it ended up coming out fine. That was a beautiful color too. But like, at least he gave me the heads up, and I wasn't like going into the booth and,
Wondering
like,
what the
coat, I'm
hell's-
like, oh, I'm gonna be here a while.
That's true. Yeah, the heads up on something like that.
Yeah, because then we got to tell him, like, paint breathes for like 60, 90 days. Like,
Yeah.
do not ceramic coat this
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Yep. Because if it's breathes, it's porous to a certain
Porous,
extent.
For
Yeah.
about safe is 90 days. Most people 60 days. If you took a car, I just painted it and waxed it 2 weeks later or ceramic coated it, it's going to get cloudy real quick.
Interesting.
Yeah. It needs to it dries to the touch, sand it, buff it, do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's still solvent coming out of that for at least 2 months.
Similar to like when
It's like if you put a sticker on it, it would bubble right up.
I was gonna say, or like when with printing stuff, you have to let it gas out.
Yeah, because it's solvents that are still outgassing. Yeah.
Yep. Huh. See, it's fascinating. Yeah, I'm sure there's more I could.
That's off-gassing is also a problem with fiberglass and carbon parts. If you break through the coating they put on that and you don't repair it the right way, it'll look 100% until you bake it, and fiberglass never stops hardening. So, like, we painted a fiberglass bumper one time and came out of the booth, and it was literally nothing but bubbles. I was like, I don't know what I did wrong.
Right, and that's kind of what I asked before or alluded to before, is just like, where do you get that information other than because the
Until you
manufacturer's
do
not
it,
gonna.
And then you call the paint reps and be like, what happened?
Yep.
I thought I did everything right. And they're like, nope, you got to use this primer. And if you break through it, you got to do this and then paint it like this.
Build it back up
Bake it
and-
like this. And yeah, it's,
Yep. A whole process.
yeah, you got to row in a few to find stuff out like that.
And this is why you're a seasoned veteran, a grizzled veteran.
Grizzled vet, yeah. So I got 5 more years in me and then I'm done.
This is why paint jobs don't cost $500.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of factual information for this. Anybody who's watching or listening, hopefully, you take something from that. Jake, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
For filling us in on your career and shedding some light and insight on the paint industry overall.
Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. Corey, any closing thoughts? We good?
No, just thanks for coming to join us.
We will be back next week. We got another guest lined up, and our man's is back in the studio, I believe. Right? Chuck's back.
No,
No, not next week.
no, because that's like a travel day.
Okay. So it just follows. Okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense. All right. So we got a guest next week. Chuck will be back the following week. Either way, we will be
Giving
here
some shit away next week.
next. Right. We're
Tune
going to
in.
send some stuff away. All that, you know where to find us. Revivalmotoring.com. Follow us on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Then, of course, follow our Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. That's it. That's all we got. Peace out. Keep fighting the good fight. Later, everybody.